Seems kind of quiet for an NFB National Convention. Melissa.
Anil.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Oh, good. I'm just trying to find my way around this virtual convention hotel.
Yeah, man, it's been kind of busy. I thought it was going to be a little less busy.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, we got to make it to that board meeting. Well, we have about 30 minutes before the board meeting starts.
Yeah, we better hurry.
Oh, excellent. So I tell you what, let's just make a commitment that you and I will meet 30 minutes before each session so that we can make sure that we're both ready to go and where we're supposed to be.
You know, I think that's a wonderful idea. Let's do that. And I hope other people will join us too.
That would be nice. They're allowed to. Yeah.
Of course they are.
Excellent. And maybe they can even help participate in the conversation through our social media.
Yeah, they can tweet us at NFB Voice, and the hashtag is number NFB20.
There you go. You could also engage with us on Facebook. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of chatter there. Just look for National Federation of the Blind on Facebook. Wonderful. And maybe we'll have some comments from our social media liaison during our pre-general sessions.
Pre-general sessions. That's it's a mouthful. I don't know if I like those.
Speaking of your social media liaison, say pre-general sessions 3 times really fast.
I don't think I can, but there he is. That's Chris Danielson. Hello.
Yeah.
How have you been finding your way around this virtual convention?
Well, it's easier than some hotels and harder than some others, but I've been learning my way around. And actually, that is one of the things. People are very excited. They're learning their way around. They're trying to figure out the exhibit hall. Everybody's always trying to figure out the exhibit hall. And,
very nice.
We might want to talk about, because a lot of the questions we've been getting on social media are about how do I get in touch with the exhibitors? How do I do this?
Okay, so what I understand
about
what I understand about the exhibit hall is that you log into Crowd Compass. That's the app that we're using. Mm-hmm. And then you register. You'll get a code emailed to you. It's a very easy process. I did it yesterday myself. I think the thing that's tripping some people up is that when you click on the exhibit hall, you do need to enter a password. And that password is NFB 2020, as far as I understand. And then the other thing that I do know is that some exhibitors just have their information there. Other exhibitors also have a Zoom link where you can actually Zoom with them and interact with them. So not every exhibitor has that Zoom link. So if you're looking for somebody, you might have to email them, call them, do something the old-fashioned way. But some of the exhibitors do have Zoom links and you can Zoom in and be with them.
The good part is you don't have to elbow your way up to the table and force yourself to that room.
Yeah, but
exactly.
The Humanware, if you want the convention discount, you have to call them on the phone. Do you guys know that? Yeah.
Well,
you can't do it online.
Is true. That is true, and you have to do the same thing with Envision America. You have to have them call you back if you want their convention discount now. And part of that is it doesn't, it does kind of surprise me. Carla McQuillan, by the way, that's who that is. It does kind of surprise me that you can't do it online, but I know with Envision, they were telling me I could get a special on one of their products. And I was like, well, how do we do that? Because I'm not going to give you my credit card over Zoom.
Right.
Very smart.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, let's focus now. This convention is going to be more than the exhibit hall. And one of the things that we're going to bring to you during these pre-convention sessions are some of the convention minute memories that many of our members have shared leading to this wonderful convention. I think that we'll be able to sneak some of them in. Let's see if hashtag the SWATCA can give us a sample of one.
This is Barbara Lose. As I stepped into the ballroom for my first general session of the National Federation of the Blind Convention in 1975, I was struck by its bigness.
We hear something, but it sounds like a chipmunk, sort of.
I can hear it.
Maybe that's the convention minute.
Oh,
I have read the Braille agenda.
You can hear it fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, here, fine.
Yeah.
Agenda from cover to cover, and I, who generally shrink from crowds, wanted to be there. The human talking signs, the state chants, the buzz of greetings, the clicking of cane meeting cane, the occasional bark of a dog, said these were fellow blind people doing what works for us, not only to participate in the world, but to lead the way in it. I never tire of the thrill of this experience, though I have now witnessed it many times through the decades.
There you go. Very nice memory from Barbara
Nice, very
Lowe's.
nice,
Wonderful.
Yeah, we thought that'd be very appropriate to kind of kick things off. The board meeting is a key piece of what we're doing with respect to conducting the business of the National Federation of the Blind. And I'm looking forward to see what gets discussed in the next few minutes.
I definitely am as well.
And I do want to say, to your point, Anil, that there is a lot of other stuff going on. There's been a lot of social media buzz, really loving the Harry Potter escape room activity for the kids. That's already happened, and the session on We're Blind but Not Colorblind that has been happening. People really loving the discussion around diversity and inclusion and how we're recognizing all the different characteristics that blind people have.
That's great. Well, we are really happy to bring you the board meeting. And Anil and I have been thinking about our favorite board meeting memories and things that sort of stick out to us. I know for me, it was in 2000 when I was a scholarship winner. And of course, when you're a scholarship winner, you have a chance to address the entire board of directors and whoever is attending that meeting. And I just remember sitting in that meeting very, very nervous about having to speak. And just every time Dr. Maurer would say, well, next up on the agenda, I would kind of tense up thinking, is this going to be the scholarship presentation? And then it wasn't. And then I would kind of sit there trying to be relaxed. And then, oh, next up on the agenda, and I get all tense again. And, you know, now it's a little bit different. Scholarship winners actually sit in a specific place. During the board meeting when I was a scholarship winner, we could sit wherever we wanted, which was fine, except then I was also just worried, okay, where's the stage? How do I get there without making a fool of myself? And that was just really nerve-wracking. And I don't really remember anything else that was talked about at that board meeting, unfortunately.
Well,
so if you're a scholarship winner, just take some deep breaths. You're going to be fine, and try to focus and try to remember other things that happened in your board meeting today.
I was wondering if you're going to help that, because we have 30 people who won scholarships, and you may have made them a little more nervous than they need to be.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
But it's good. You said calm down, so they're going to calm down. Yeah. And they're going to make it through. I had the same experience in 2002, which was the best scholarship class that this federation has ever had. And that was because, you know, me and some other key federation leaders who were part of that particular class. Yeah, that's me being very arrogant and cocky. But my convention board member memory, wow, all this alliteration is something else, was in 2004, because I got elected to the board of directors in 2003. So 2004 was my first convention board meeting. And I remember on my way to the board meeting, I stopped at a little blind kid and his parents, and they were just really interested in my Braille watch. And this was probably on my way down to breakfast. So I stopped and I let them take a look, and he just told the time, that kind of thing. No. I thought that was pretty cool. So I went on about my business and went back up to my room, and I was checking my time. I had plenty of time. And then I realized that tiny hands aren't as delicate with Braille watches as others. And time got set back about 10 minutes. So I went hustling down to and I'm hearing Dr. Maurer call the roll, and Lewis, and I'm like, here, from the back of the convention hall. So yeah, that was my convention board meeting memory.
Oh. Wow. that's not the way you want to start your first convention board meeting.
No.
At least you figured it out when you did. That's a good thing.
Well, yes and no. But again, it made a memory, right?
Yeah,
If I would have been there on time, it would have been just another board
Boring.
meeting.
Yeah.
No, they're never boring. Speaking of one, we already talked about, we're going to hear from our 30 scholarship finalists. I imagine President Rico Bono, being the master of the reveal, will also keep us hanging on till the last minute at the edge of our seats, trying to wonder where our 2021 National Convention will be held.
That is so true. And it's so interesting because last year, that was really all the buzz on social media. Where are we going to be in 2020? Where are we going to be in 2020?
Yeah.
And I think this year, because we're just all at home, we can't even really think ahead to 2021. But it is going to most likely be revealed, I hope. And nobody ever believes me, but I have no idea where we're going to be in 2021. I had no idea where we're going to be in 2020, and I had no idea where we're going to be in 2019. So that secret is kept very, very close.
I love that people think I know, though. And then they'll ask me, Neil,
Yes.
and I was like, well, I don't know. Yeah, sure you don't know. Yeah, I really
I get that.
Let's
I
keep
get
talking
that.
about it. Why don't you guys go ahead and tweet to NFB_voice and let us know where you think the 2021 convention will be. All right, Chris, were you trying to say something?
That was Joe. Joe, can you hear me, Joe Ruffalo?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you.
I-
F-F-A-L-O.
Neil's first convention in New Jersey ate I think his first cannoli. I think that was true.
It wasn't the first, but it was a delicious cannoli.
I always get Joe. Come on, you've been on the board since 2001. You have to know where it is. I said, well, if I'll tell you if you keep it a secret. Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Somewhere in the United States of America. I guarantee it. That's where it's got to be. So that's why I get away with it.
It's going to be west of the Mississippi.
Right.
Yeah. And then I give everybody some lint, Neil, and they're very happy.
Yeah,
I have a
that's
guess.
a nice
This is
inside
Everly.
joke story. Go ahead, Ever. What is yours?
My guess is where we had the largest first, which was New Orleans. That's a guess. That's my guess.
City. I love New Orleans. I visited there
Yeah.
once and would love to be back there. That would be
My
I wasn't at
my
that
guess.
convention.
I'm sorry. My guess is, ready for this? San Diego, California. Why do I say that?
Wow.
I have no idea.
It would be beautiful.
All the way west of the Mississippi.
I don't
right.
think we can get the
Except for
raisins.
our Hawaii or Alaska members there.
Any other board members? Any other guesses?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Could be, yeah.
Chicago would be
Chicago
fun.
was my first convention, 1995.
That was
was
my
a great
first
one.
half convention. I was a kid and I went with my parents. So it doesn't really exactly count, but I did go to the exhibit hall for the first time. And that was a really cool experience as a high school kid. And I still have the book that I bought from National Braille Press way back then. It's a writer's reference book, and I still use it once in a while. So it's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Wow.
And I used my own money. I mean, it was a really big deal. And I wanted the book really badly, but they actually sent me a new copy because they were out of the Braille copies, and the one that was on the table had been mauled by many hands. And they said, no, you want fresher Braille. And I said, no, I want to take it with me. And they said, no, we really need this so we can show other people. So we'll send you a brand new one. So I had to wait, but that was still okay.
Well, good thing, because you probably wore out all that brand new Braille once you got that.
I
book.
did. Yeah. And it's been through many moves and to college and across the country to Maryland. So
Very nice.
This is Ever again. Neil, when you were sharing about the time that you were late for the board meeting,
This is the podcast, Jane.
yeah, go ahead, Ever.
I just want to tell Neil, my heart was beating so hard. When Dr. Mao was calling the roll and Neil's name was called, I was like, oh God, my heart. Neil, get here, Neil.
Where is he?
You know, the same thing happened to me, but not because a kid messed with my watch. I was dealing with a parent in NFB camp, and came tearing into the board meeting and just stepped in the room as Dr. Maurer called my name. I said, "Here, sir." And he said, "You're welcome to join us on the stage."
I remember that too.
Well, he was much more gracious for me. He didn't embarrass me further than I had already been embarrassed. So that's good.
So what else do you think will be happening in the board meeting today, Anil?
Let's see. The business of the Federation. We're gonna got some awards, I'm sure. That's going to be interesting to see. I think we give out what, the Teacher of Blind Students of the Year? Or
Yep.
The educator. Yeah.
Educator of the Year. Yeah. And that's Carla, I think.
It is.
Yeah. So you want to tell us who won, Carla? Give everybody.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Be that way. See, nobody wants to give any insider information here.
But Chris
If you guys
Danielson knows.
want to also tweet to tell us who you think the Educator of the Year is going to be.
That's right.
I remember once I was on the board back when we used to do the Colonel Book stories, and there was a prize that we would offer, kind of a raffle. So if you wrote a Colonel Book story, whether it was published or not, you would be entered into a drawing. And I think that it was for, it was a pretty good amount. Maybe 1,000 sounds like a little too much, but I know it was a nice little bit.
It was a nice amount of money.
So I had written a Colonel Book story, but I didn't get it submitted in time. So I was going to wait till the next year. So the Colonel Book was a board decision, and it was pretty customary that at the board meeting, someone would make a motion that we reintroduce the program for the following year. Well, I didn't know that there had already been some kind of discussion that, we had published our last Colonel Book, and that we were going to end that contest. And I, through my selfish desire to be entered into the contest, made a motion at the board that we pursue the contest in the following year. And I think I caught everybody off guard, and just the whole routine of doing that process, it passed. And I was able to have one more year of Colonel Books, and I got my Colonel Book story submitted, and it was actually published. And it's the last Colonel Book series that was ever there. And I think it never went to print. I think it was the only one we did just only in Braille. So that's one of my other kind of memories of the board meeting.
Did you win the contest?
No.
No. Oh.
No, I did not win the contest.
He didn't have.
Then I would remember the
that
amount.
was never going to happen.
What was that? That I was never going to win?
You were never going to win after you did that in the board meeting.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's Norma Crosby, ladies and gentlemen. She's the host of our national convention now that we're here in Houston, Texas this year.
Absolutely.
Regret that we weren't able to be there to experience some of that Texas hospitality, and to all of
Hey
our
man,
friends.
I had barbecue for lunch.
Howdy.
Barbecue for lunch. Yum. That sounds delicious.
I came as close as I could. I had pulled pork.
Oh, that's far away.
Everybody's had better lunch than I have. I haven't had lunch yet.
Well, I knew better than to come in here unprepared for that. Speaking of board meeting, and a lot of the board members can probably relate to this too. You're going to be up on that stage for a good little while, so you have to make sure you practice a really good preparatory routine so that you don't have to inadvertently have to leave the stage for any reason, because you never know when you might be called on. So
that's funny. That's actually another one of my board meeting memories, come to think of it. This was back in the day, probably my first convention, and it was the time when you only got one agenda. And you were told multiple times at registration, this is your agenda.
But you got to choose what format.
You have to choose what format. You get one choice, but this is your agenda for the whole convention. There's no way you can get another one. And so I got my agenda, my Braille agenda. It was beautiful. And I went to the restaurant for breakfast. And of course, restaurant, as it often was being very, very slow. And I was very worried because Federation meetings start on time. And so I got my restaurant stuff to go, and it spilled all over my cover of my Braille agenda. So the rest of the convention, I was carrying around this grossly, like not really sticky, but just like
nasty,
gravy, kind of nasty agenda. Yeah. And eventually, though, someone left their agenda on the floor after a general session, and I put mine down and I grabbed there.
But you did leave the nasty one there for them.
I did.
Okay, good.
It
So that's
did.
fine. It's their own fault. That's what they deserve.
Melissa, I want to ask, what kind of food did you spill on it? Was it like greasy, smelly Chinese food? Was it, what
It
kind of
was
food?
like eggs Benedict or something. It was, you know, like
Oh, my.
hollandaise sauce
Eggs
or
Benedict
something
with
like
holiday
that.
sauce. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would
So-
smell all day.
It did. But I
Well-
needed my Braille agenda.
We just want to
Yeah.
know that Melissa and I are pledging to meet 30 minutes before each general session. And we encourage and invite all of you to join us and participate in this conversation. I'm looking forward to the wonderful stuff that we're doing at this national convention. I hope you guys do continue to be engaged with us on social media. Again, our Twitter handle is at NFB_voice.
And on Facebook, you can look us up at National Federation of the Blind.
Yep, and we'll try to feed in as much information about what you guys want to talk about into these pre-general sessions. And we're looking forward to hopefully answering any questions that you may have, and listen to some more of our convention minute memories. And we're going to be working on all this alliteration so we can do all these tongue twisters. But thank you guys for tuning in. We're looking forward to an absolutely wonderful national convention of the National Federation of the Blind. What is this, our 80th?
This is our 80th national.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, this is Everly. I just want to say I thank you. I don't feel as isolated when I could come in early and have a chat with you. This is just great, because otherwise I feel so lonely.
I completely agree, Everly. This is Terry.
We don't want anybody feeling lonely.
No,
But
not at all.
speaking of lonely, we're about to be lonely because we're gonna have to turn this over to Will Schwatka, who has some preparatory stuff we have for before our general session starts. I'm sorry, our board meeting starts.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of our national board members who joined us in the conversation. Maybe we can do some more of that in the pre-general sessions as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I feel like I should be saying, and you're listening to the Nation's Blind Podcast.
Aloha,
Guys,
Neil.
looking forward to a wonderful convention.
My first convention was in 1973 in New York City. I had very poor travel skills and the self-confidence to match. I noticed some blind folks walking down the hall, and they were all using their canes. I thought, I want that. Not necessarily that I wanted to know how to travel, because I wasn't sure I can, but I wanted the self-confidence. So when I got home, I started going to dinner with my friends. I took travel, and eventually, one day, I went out by myself, just my cane and me. My name's Nancy Yeager, and I'm with the National Federation of the Blind, Virginia affiliate.
Four-minute warning.
Meeting information, leave. Open button. Meeting, you are using advanced encryption. Audio not muted.
Live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. Grab a cane, get trained, gotta get moving. Make a change and a wage, that's what we're doing. Come with me, yeah. And live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you're fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You and me, NFB, let's dream together. NFB, you and me, lives on forever. You will see. You live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You know the truth.
The 2020 board meeting of the National Federation of the Blind Convention is now in order. We're going to take the roll to start the meeting. Pam Allen.
Yes, sir.
Ron Brown.
Yes, sir.
James Gashel.
Right here, Mr. President.
Jeannie Massey.
Yes, sir.
Denise Avant.
Yes, sir.
Everett Bacon.
Yes, sir.
Amy Burrish.
Yes, sir.
Sean Calloway.
Yes, sir.
Norma Crosby.
Right here, sir.
John Fritz.
Yes, sir.
Everly Hairston.
Yes, sir.
Carla McQuillan.
Here, sir.
And Amy Rule.
Yes, sir.
Joe Ruffalo.
Yes, sir.
Terry Rupp.
Yes, sir.
And Adelmo Vigil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all 17 members of the board are here. Thank you very much. Welcome, fellow Federationists. We appreciate that you're here with us for our board meeting, the first official general session of our 2020 convention. So thank you for being here. I'd invite our board members, panelists to remember to stay muted if you're not speaking, so we can minimize the background noise. Thank you to our podcast hosts, Anil Lewis and the lovely Melissa Riccobono, for that. I don't know where they got that big audience, that crowd out there. Must have been the 7,000 plus people we have registered for this convention. It's a really great experience. I am speaking to you from the National Federation of the Blind Jernigan Institute, and we have a great team here working behind the scenes, so thank you to our staff and our thousands of volunteers across the country making this our largest convention ever. I do want to begin and invite each and every one of you to start, as we do at these board meetings, with a moment of silence for those who have died during the past year, marchers in our movement, including these individuals: Mike Ard, Ron Atchinson, John Asper, Amy Barnes, Rosalind Bartlett, John Bates, Stephen Benson, James Bevels, Barbara Biggs, Ron Bouchard, Tasha Branch, Joanne Buck, Loretta Bunn, Travis Kane, Donald Capps, Lucio Carrillo, Jack Kofeld, Scott Kavanaugh, Joshua Chevy, Susan Clark, Charlie Cook, Stella Davila, Daniel Dinstner, Glenda Elgin, Brooke Evans, John Ferry, Bill Fuller, Richard Gaffney, Harry Gaywith, Susan Gillette, Mike Glenn, Laura Hathaway, Wayne High, Dwayne Iverson, Tammy Jones, Mike Kelly, Barbara King, Kathleen Knox, Paul McIntyre, Oscar Myers, Brian Miller, Mary Monty, Patricia Morrow, Bill Neal, Elvita Palmer, Max Parker, Rami Ravi, Roman Ramirez, Bob Rhodes, Frank Ricks, Daryl Robinson, Ken Rollman, Dennis Russack, Joe Sexton, Donna Sexton, Tyrone Small, Laverne Towens, Joseph Tahio, Ken Vellante, Anne Elizabeth Walsh, Ruby Wirtz, Margaret Williams, Jasmine Williams Young, Doug Wolf, Betty Woodward, and Cindy Zimmer. I would invite us to have a moment of silence for these and all of the other Federationists who we've lost in the past year. Amen. This is, as I said, the first official board meeting, general session meeting of the convention. But because it is a board meeting, there aren't mics in the aisles. Oh, wait, there aren't aisles. This is a general session, though, and we have proposed for this convention, for our general session, some different rules of engagement, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But the nature of this meeting is for the board of directors to talk, so that's primarily who you are going to hear from. To begin, I want to invite to speak to us to talk about our Spanish interpretation efforts that we've been making during this convention and how you can get a hold of them. From Brownsville, Texas, here's Daniel Martinez. Daniel?
Thank you, President Riccobono, and welcome to everyone to this 80th convention virtually. I would like to invite you all to know that we are providing interpreting services in Spanish at this convention. Usually, we interpret the board meeting, the general session, and the banquet in person, but this year we started ever since the Ricky Roundup, and will continue all the way into the banquet. I have an excellent team of interpreters. There's 12 of us, and we're also doing some translation work, tweeting Spanish tweets and translating the agenda and other material. I urge everyone in the Federation to share this information. You can contact me at my email, dmartinez@nfbtx.org, or you can find more information at the NFB's webpage, nfb.org. There is a channel for Spanish, and via email, yesterday, we sent out a communication that contains the agenda and the Zoom conference information. For the Spanish interpreting sessions, we're only using one link, so it's pretty simple. Thank you very much and enjoy your convention.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you to the team that you've assembled of members to do the Spanish translation. Daniel, did you want to say anything in Spanish?
I don't have to say it because we're already saying it
There
in
you
Spanish.
go. Okay, good, good. Well, you could say something.
Felicidades, gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Los invitamos a que se disfruten de esta conferencia.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate your work. I would invite everybody now to rise wherever you can. If you are watching via video, we do have an American flag over my right shoulder, Federation flag over my left shoulder. We're going to now say the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't need to unmute to do this because if you've ever tried to do anything simultaneously on Zoom, you know how that goes. So the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, as I say, the Federation flag is here. If you have your membership coin, hold on to it. Wait, I have mine here. Right there. The Federation pledge. I pledge to participate actively in the efforts of the National Federation of the Blind to achieve equality, opportunity, and security for the blind, to support the policies and programs of the Federation, and to abide by its Constitution. Thank you very much, everybody. You can stand or sit or jump around because you're probably in your own living room, so it's okay. Okay, we are going to have an election at this convention. We have a number of members of the board who are up for election. The elected positions to be filled at this convention are as follows. President, Mark Riccobono, Maryland. First Vice President, Pam Allen, Louisiana. Second Vice President, Ron Brown, Indiana. Secretary, James Gashel, Hawaii. Treasurer, Jeannie Massey, Oklahoma. And board members, Amy Burrish, Nebraska. Sean Calloway, District of Columbia. John Fritz, Wisconsin. Carla McQuillan, Oregon. Amy Rule, Massachusetts, and Adelmo V. Hill, New Mexico. Holdover board positions include Denise Avant, Illinois, Everett Bacon, Utah, Norma Crosby, Texas, Everly Hairston, California, and Terry Rupp, Nevada, and Joe Ruffalo, New Jersey. I'd now like to invite to welcome you to this convention on behalf of our host committee, kind of an unusual set of circumstances for this host committee, but who better to handle it than this longtime leader of the National Federation of the Blind, who is always prepared to tackle what the Federation throws her way. I'm proud to introduce the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Texas and a national board member. Here is Norma Crosby. Norma, welcome.
My husband is clapping for me over here.
I'm clapping for you too, Norma.
Yay.
Good to hear your voice.
I appreciate it. So I do want to welcome everyone here today to the beautiful city of Houston. I am not going to apologize that you can't be with us this week, because we're going to have a great convention, whether we're here in person or whether we do it virtually. So I hope if you see me around our virtual convention that you will say hello. And I would love to say hello to all 7,251 of you. That probably won't happen, but we're going to have a great time this week. We've already had a number of wonderful meetings, and I expect more to come. I want to do one quick thing that I hadn't planned for today, but I understand that some people had a little difficulty this morning getting into our NASA Mission Control Tour. There were some technical issues that were kind of beyond our control that we weren't aware of. And so I just want to thank the people who did sign up to come, and I apologize to anyone who couldn't get in. I believe and hope the problem is resolved for tomorrow. So if you didn't get in today and you're interested in a NASA tour, please try to come tomorrow. We invite you to do that. So the other thing I want to say is that we have a number of surprises for you tomorrow evening at our opening ceremony. We're going to have some special guests that you won't want to miss. We're going to have lots of Texas music and stuff. There will not be any Texas barbecue, though, I'm sorry to say. I was telling someone earlier, I had barbecue for lunch, and I'm sorry that the rest of you weren't able to join me. It would have been great to have barbecue with 7,000 blind guys, but I enjoyed my barbecue nonetheless. And I saw that someone was saying they wish they had some, and I wish I could send some your way. I want to talk to you about one or two other things. And the primary thing I want to talk to you about today is our banquet. As you know, we're not meeting in person at our banquet, but I hope if COVID isn't too hot in your area, that maybe you'll be able to get together with some friends for the banquet on Saturday evening. I know President Riccobono is going to give us a great banquet address, and we'll get to meet all of our wonderful scholarship winners. But the thing I want to talk to you about is to be sure and be there, because you need to be present in order to win our banquet grand prize. This year, that prize is being provided by the National Federation of the Blind of Texas. And you know, this is the year 2020, and this is our 80th anniversary. And although some people don't think Texans can do math, we really can. And so this year, our grand prize is a combination of the year and our 80th anniversary. So we will be giving away $2,100 in cold hard cash to the winner of our banquet prize this year. So I invite all of you again. If you haven't been to our presidential suite, please do that. We don't have a Texas affiliate suite this year as we would have had we been physically in Houston this year. But I've been in the presidential suite some. You might see me there at some other times, and you'll definitely see some Texans around. So please be sure to say hello. President Riccobono, I think that's what I have for us today. But again, please be there for the opening ceremony tomorrow night. You won't want to miss it.
Thank you, Norma. It's great to hear your voice. And I know you've been in the presidential suite a lot because when I was there this morning, people said, Norma, is that you? So apparently you've been there a lot. They're just expecting you to be there, but I've seen you around quite a bit. So thank you. Say hi to Glenn. Give him a high five for us. And we miss you guys a lot. We look forward to the opening ceremony tomorrow. And we're not going to rush it, but we will be looking forward to the grand prize at the banquet as well.
I'm looking forward to it too, sir.
Excellent, excellent. And now I'm hungry for barbecue, so thanks for that. I'll be thinking about that for the next couple hours. I did want to mention when we opened talking about Spanish interpretation, we also, for all of our general sessions and actually many of our convention sessions, wherever it has been requested in advance, we are offering captions. If you're not familiar with how to get captions on Zoom, you need to select captions and then you need to select full transcript. I partially give this to our delegates so that if you have individuals who would like to utilize the transcript feature during the meetings, that you can help them know how to discover it. It is here. We've had a hardworking crew of captioners now for 2 days, and it's going to be continuing. So keep in mind that that feature is available. Okay, the next item of business, I want to talk to you briefly about our code of conduct. You know that our organizational code of conduct confirms in writing the commitment we make to each other about appropriate behavior and discourse and treatment within our organization. You can find our code of conduct on every single page of nfb.org. It's there in detail. The convention, of course, is our supreme authority. And so we urge the highest standard of engagement and code of conduct around our convention activities. And of course, we want to make sure, first and foremost, also that we stay on brand with the National Federation of the Blind. So we've got a lot of first timers here. I'm sure we'd hear them cheering right now. We want to make sure they're all welcomed and that they get a chance to look around and really decide for themselves whether they want to be part of this organization, and we certainly hope they do. If you run into some trouble, and by the way, let me say that our code of conduct, of course, extends to what happens on social media. If you run into a situation that you believe is a violation of our code of conduct, or someone's done something inappropriate, you want to report an incident, during the convention, you can call, and by the way, these methods are available the rest of the year. Our code of conduct line here at the national office, our number here, 410-659-9314, dial extension 2475 to report an incident. You can also email coc@nfb.org. Closely related to our code of conduct is the commitment that we make to diversity and inclusion. I wanted to talk briefly about that and then invite one of our board members to expand upon it. First and foremost, for the National Federation of the Blind, diversity inclusion is more than words. We recognize that action is required. We have been, for a number of years, expanding the discussion about what we can do to make sure that we create a stronger, more diverse, more inclusive federation. And a lot of that work has been led by our Diversity and Inclusion Committee. You know, committees are appointed by the president and serve to advise the president on activities to build the organization. After this convention, we are going to be working on some very specific activities, especially training on diversity and inclusion and raising the cultural competency of our leaders. Now, we think we need to do this for everybody, but we believe that it starts with the leadership. And so this fall, our state presidents, our board members, our chapter presidents will start to be invited into some training so we can make sure we're raising the cultural competency so that we can more effectively work with all of our members from various backgrounds. We have also already, and we're going to be really putting emphasis on this in the next year and calling on our committee to do this, working actively to make sure that in all of our communications and outreach that we're sharing member stories and perspectives in our communications that reflect the great diversity that you would find in the convention hall when we're together in our chapter meetings and across the Federation. And by the way, I should say that, of course, you, any of you out there are welcome to write articles for our Braille Monitor and to engage in the communications of the Federation. We'll also be exploring with our committee and leaders across the Federation the techniques that we can be using to increase the diversity of the pipelines into our organization. We've already started some of these conversations, but how do we get leaders with diverse characteristics, more diverse characteristics, better represented in our leadership training, in the pipeline to be chapter president, on affiliate boards, affiliate presidents, on our national board? How do we make sure that we're pushing our program application materials to places where they reach the kind of audiences that we don't feel we're reaching as well right now? You've heard Daniel talk about some of the increased efforts we've been making in Spanish. We're going to be looking for other ideas and implementing them as quickly as we can and rooting them in our work. Now, as I said earlier, this work is really advised by, and I look to for leadership, our Committee on Diversity and Inclusion. It's led by two co-chairs, one being Rosie Carranza from Louisiana, the other being Sean Calloway from the District of Columbia, and Sean is a board member. So Sean, I wanted to turn it over to you to any other comments you wanted to make about this area, and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, President Riccobono. First and foremost, again, as you mentioned, I serve as a co-chair, but we have some outstanding work done by our other co-chair, Rosie Carranza. We've had a couple of days of diversity and inclusion content, and quite honestly, it's been amazing. We've had over 1,000 participants in these meetings, which is great. And I want to let the folks know that, again, and I've said this across different meetings, that diversity and inclusion is going to strengthen the Federation. It's going to make us stronger. And if you want to be a part of that initiative, and as President Riccobono has said, we would love to hear different ideas from anyone who is watching and listening to this meeting, to email us at diversity@nfb.org. Again, that's diversity@nfb.org. Also, we are having a diversity and inclusion committee meeting tomorrow at 10:30. So please check your listings in regards to with link to get on to be a part of that meeting. But we are definitely looking forward to really enhancing the Federation with our diversity and inclusion initiative. And again, President Riccobono, thank you for your leadership in this effort. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sean, and say hello to the princess. I miss seeing her in the presidential suite, you know.
Yes, the princess told me to tell you hello.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks, Sean, and thank you again to all the members of our Committee on Diversity and Inclusion. I mentioned at the beginning that we will have some different ways of operating to get the business done of the organization at this convention. We have circulated, the board of directors has circulated a process that it is proposing to the convention in terms of how we alter our rules of engagement from what they normally are when we are in person. And I'm going to ask Beth Braun from the Office of the President to read that in just a second. Let me say first that we invited everybody to register for this convention, and 7,251 of us did. Some people wrote afterwards and said, oh, we meant to register, and it's okay. We threw the doors open. You can still be here, but you weren't registered and you won't be eligible for door prizes, but you get the best content for free anyway. And by the way, kudos to our board of directors for really making that commitment to make this convention freely available to all blind people. We then said that if you are registered and if you are a member, you can enroll to vote. And members, you have to pay your membership dues every year unless you have a lifetime membership. And so our affiliates confirmed for us at the national office who was a current active member of the organization. Those who were registered by the 15th and who are members were invited to enroll in our voting process, our voting platform, which people had to do by 12 o'clock noon on July 12. So you've done that. The first official order of business that we anticipate taking up is voting on the rules of engagement. We're going to read them now. You should have gotten them in the email inviting you to enroll. We will read them again before they are voted on, figuring that we have now given plenty of notice about the details of it. So I'm going to invite Beth Braun up to read the rules of engagement and then make some more comments. Beth?
Thank you. National Federation of the Blind proposed 2020 Convention Principles of Engagement. These principles of engagement were adopted by the National Federation of the Blind Board of Directors on Thursday, June 25th, 2020, for recommendation to the National Convention. Nothing in these rules is intended to change Article 5, Section A of the Federation's Constitution. The Convention remains the supreme authority of the Federation. It is the legislature of the Federation. As such, it has final authority with respect to all issues of policy. Delegates and members in attendance may participate in all convention discussions as a matter of right. Any member of the Federation may make or second motions and propose nominations. These procedures simply implement the method for following the Constitution in an electronic convention. The below principles and procedures are intended to provide clarity and advance notice of how the convention will be managed in 2020. This document will be read at the NFB board meeting on July 15th and then a second time on July 16th after the roll call of states. I'm sorry, it was read. The intention was for it to be voted on, is for it to be voted on in the evening of July, sorry. The intention was for it to be voted on the evening of July 16th, which did happen. Will happen. Sorry, having a problem with tenses. Those eligible to vote on this proposal will be any enrolled voter present and voting at the session on July 16th as described below. A subcommittee of the Board of Directors comprising those who are not standing for election this year shall deal with questions and issues of credentials for voting. The subcommittee will include Denise Avant, Illinois, Everett Bacon, Utah, Norma Crosby, Texas, Everly Hairston, California, Joe Ruffalo, New Jersey, and Terry Rupp, Nevada. Everett Bacon shall chair the subcommittee. Voting. Every member in good standing who registered for the convention by June 15th, 2020 will be offered an opportunity to enroll in the NFB 20 voting system. All voters must be enrolled by July 12th, 2020 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. 2, all individuals who are members are registered for the convention and who opt into the voter enrollment by a specified time will constitute the pool of convention voters. 3, all voting will be done via phone. 4, any matter must receive 51% support of the votes cast by the convention voters present and voting in order to be affirmed. 5, present and voting will mean the subset of convention voters who actually cast a vote on a given question. Thus, voters who are indifferent to a matter cannot block its consideration by the convention by choosing not to cast a vote. 6, all votes will be allocated 2 minutes for vote time. 7, after 2 minutes, if the outcome to the question under consideration is unclear, the chair will poll the delegates by voice vote for a definite outcome. 8, if voting indicates 75% support for or against a question prior to the 2-minute period elapsing, the chair may elect to move to the next order of business. 9, an opportunity to practice voting will be offered in the convention on a question that has no impact on the policy of the organization. Motions and nominations from the floor. 1, only delegates will be able to make motions, second motions, and nominate candidates from the floor during the convention. 2, should a member of a delegation wish to make a motion or nominate a member for election by the convention, their delegate must bring it forward on their behalf. 3, a member may petition another delegate to support their motion, especially if the delegate from their own state will not support the motion. Resolutions. Number 1, resolutions to be presented to the convention must proceed through the resolutions committee process as usual. 2, resolutions being recommended to the convention by the committee will be posted to the web at http://www.nfb.org/resolutions by 8 p.m. Eastern or 3 hours after the committee meeting, whichever is later, on July 15th, 2020. 3, affiliate delegations will be encouraged to discuss resolutions during their state caucus on July 17th. 4, those wishing to speak for or against a resolution on the floor of the convention must submit their interest in doing so by sending an email to resolutions@nfb.org by 5:30 p.m. Eastern on July 17th. The email must contain the individual's full name, state affiliate, number of the resolution they wish to discuss, whether they are for or against the resolution, and a phone number where they can be reached in case there's an issue with the Zoom platform. 5, reminders will be given at each of the general sessions prior to the deadline regarding the above process. 6, in determining the amount of debate a resolution requires, the chair may use the Zoom polling option to get a sense of the crowd, ask the delegates for their feeling on cutting off debate, or engage some other strategy outside of the voting system to gauge the sense of the convention.
Thank you, Beth. And I just want to acknowledge Beth is one of the many folks that have been working very hard, but she's been managing a lot of our webinar activities. She's kind of our guru. So thank you, Beth, for all that you've been doing. So a couple comments on this document. First of all, I believe this is also on our convention page, nfb.org/convention. If you want to study it in more detail, if you have questions about it, talk to your delegate, especially if you have concerns about it. I think this is a good proposal. I urge its support amongst the voters. I think it's a very reasonable approach, and it expresses all of the democratic principles of our organization. We are going to plan to vote on this immediately after the roll call of states tomorrow evening during the opening ceremony. So you'll want to be there to vote. Now, we are going to take a couple of votes during this board meeting, just to get used to the process if you haven't already. You heard from the document that Everett Bacon is chairing our committee about this. If you have concerns, you want to reach out to him, you can reach Everett via his email address. It's baconev@yahoo.com. So that's bacon, ev@yahoo.com. Or you can dial our national office, 410-659-9314, and leave a message at extension 2544. So let's take a vote now. Now, normally we're going to leave this open for 2 minutes, and we are going to do that this time, but we are going to move on to some other business. So the vote will be open for 2 minutes, and we're going to take one at the end of the meeting as well. So we're going to take a vote, and knowing that Everett Bacon from Utah, he is a big baseball fan. We're going to vote on this question. I'm going to give you the question, then I'm going to give you the phone number in case you haven't memorized it by now or gotten it into your phone. And if you're an enrolled voter, this time it's only eligible enrolled voters who enrolled by noon, July 12th. The question is, how do you feel about the 60-game Major League Baseball season? You vote 1 for up, you're for it, you like it, or 2, down, don't like it, terrible idea. Now, if you're texting, you can either do the number 1 or the number 2, or you can write up or down. Those are valid responses that will be noted. So the numeral 1, numeral 2, or up or down. On the phone, it will just prompt you, and you're going to either text or call 667-206, 6677. You should know this number by now, 667-206, 6677. How do you feel about the 60-game Major League Baseball season? You can see this question, Everett may disagree. This question doesn't really have any bearing on the policy of the National Federation of the Blind. So one more time, and I do encourage you to have this in a place so you know it by the time we vote, 667-206-6677. If you try to vote and you're not an eligible enrolled voter, it's not going to count. So, so that I can go cast my vote for this question, and thank you again to Everett and the committee for helping to manage these processes. I'm going to introduce to talk to us about membership in the National Federation of the Blind, and also to give a convention thank you in her capacity as treasurer of the National Federation of the Blind, also chair of our membership committee. This is the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Oklahoma. Here is Jeannie Massey.
Thank you, President Riccobono.
Great to hear you, Jeannie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Great to hear you.
You too, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world as you participate in our NFB Anywhere and Everywhere virtual convention. We are so glad that you are participating with us and that you are here. We have been actively working on membership, and I'll tell you a few things about that. But first, I want to invite those of you who are not yet members to join us in the activities and the work that we do as the Federation. We are actively looking for people to help support our efforts and to be a part of our family. It really is a family. I know it's an organization, but we have come to know and love each other in the work that we do and in the capacity that we have as blind people. We want you to be a part of that effort. So if you are interested, please go to our website. You can find local affiliates for each of our states, Puerto Rico and DC. If you need further assistance, please email membership@nfb.org, and we will connect you with the people that can help find local chapters and divisions for you to take part in. The membership committee has actually been working hard over this last year. We have been further developing our onboarding process and orientation process for new members, have developed a new member packet, and one of the most, I think, exciting things that we've done is to begin hosting what we call open houses. And please take note, if you're interested in joining the Federation and you have not yet had questions answered, you haven't gone to a chapter meeting, but maybe you want to know more about us, please sign up to take part in one of our open houses. It is a Zoom conference call, but it's a very limited number of leaders answering questions, talking about what we do, who we are as the Federation, and it's a great place to find out more about what we have to offer you. So if you're interested in doing so, please email membership@nfb.org with your name, where you live, and that you are interested in joining the next open house. I can tell you that will take place on September 9th. So we have a bit of time in between our national convention and the next open house, but that'll give you time to respond and give us time to really help start connecting you to the people that you need to be connected with in your local area. We also have added a number of new members in the past year, and I'm not going to comment on that specifically, other than to say that it's a pretty large number, and we're pretty excited about that. But you'll hear more about that in President Riccobono's presidential address and report to our membership. So I'll leave that thunder to you, President Riccobono. All right, putting my treasurer's hat on now, sir. Moving into thanking our sponsors, because without them, you know, it would be difficult to put on any kind of convention. We appreciate their support and really encourage everyone participating this year to check out the exhibit hall and look into what those sponsors represent to us and the efforts that they put into not only financially supporting the Federation, but also the products and services that they offer to the blind community as well. We'll start with the platinum level sponsors. And those are Google, JP Morgan Chase and Company, Microsoft Corporation, Oracle, Vanta Pharmaceuticals, Vispero, our gold level sponsors are Brown, Goldstein and Levy, Target, Waymo. Our silver sponsors are Adobe, Amazon, AT&T, Facebook, Lyft, Market Development Group, Inc., Pearson, Sprint Accessibility. Our bronze level sponsors are ACT Inc., IRA, American Printing House, Charter Communications, Democracy Live, Humanware, Learning Ally, NIB, Verizon Media, Vital Source Technologies, Wells Fargo. Our white cane level sponsors are Duxbury Systems, Inc., Envision America, Envision Inc., LCI, McGraw-Hill Education, Rosenben and Gallen LLC, CNP Chris Park Design, Five Cedars Group, Inc., Voting Works, and that is it, sir. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and make sure to visit our exhibit hall and thank them yourselves as well.
Thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate you not giving the reveal on the membership number, but I know that since I finalized the presidential report, which was not that long ago, the number went up. So I decided not to revise it. So thank you, Jeannie, and the work of the membership committee. We've done a great job the last year, and I know we're going to do even better the next year. So thank you for all you do, Jeannie.
Very good. Thank you.
I don't know
sir.
if you're having barbecue too, but I know that you have a source there for some pretty good barbecue.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
So tell your husband hello.
I sure will. Thank you.
And I echo Jeannie's note of thanks to our sponsors. We appreciate it. Had the opportunity to spend some time already with our sponsors during our sponsor reception, which we had Monday, and we have done well. Our partners have stuck with us and in many cases increased their support. So we appreciate that. I do want to note that the question we were voting on, apparently we have a lot of baseball fans, passed in terms of up. I guess the crowd eligible voters are excited about baseball, kind of a 2-to-1. People are two people for every one person not so happy about it. So congratulations, baseball fans. This convention will be over just in time for opening day in a week or so after our convention adjourns. So I know Everett, I'm sure he voted up. I voted up for it. Thank you again, Jeannie.
Yes, sir.
You're for it. Good. Well, we got a lot of baseball fans still. I was looking forward to going to the juice box in Houston, but I'm gonna still be waiting to do that. Next on our agenda is a gentleman who I think many of you know, although he really works behind the scenes. He's been our chairman of convention arrangements now for many years. He has made many things happen when all sorts of unexpected things are thrown at him. And I know he has put a lot of sweat equity into this convention. And when you experience what you have in the convention, his coordination and shepherding the right members of our team to the right places is a big part of it. Today is his birthday. I'm going to spare him from asking the board members to unmute and sing, but we should acknowledge that it is John Bergeron's birthday. So here is our chairman of convention arrangements. Hey, John.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you. Not as pleased as I would be as if I were here in person, but excited nonetheless for the coming week. By the way, I would note that I did vote up for the 60-game season. Thing I like about the 60-game season, the Orioles can't lose more than 60. So that's good news for Orioles fans.
Good point.
And speaking of voting, many of you have noticed that when you voted via text, you did not get a confirmation. We'll make sure that's fixed. You should get a confirmation saying thank you for your vote. So just know that we're working on that and we'll have that resolved shortly. So we have a lot going on. Being online did not slow us down at all. We've got, depending on how you count, close to 200, over 200 sessions throughout the week. So how do you keep track of that? Where can you find the agenda? I'm glad you asked. There are lots of places. One of the best places is nfb.org/convention. On our convention webpage, and just about anything you want to know about the convention can be found there. You can find several versions of the agenda. It's available in HTML. You can download an EPUB. You can download a Word document. You can download a BRF file if you want to produce your own Braille or read through the agenda directly through your refreshable Braille display. That's a format that works well. It is also posted on NFB Newsline. So if you're a subscriber and are using the telephone, you press 5 from the main menu and then select option 5 for national meetings of interest to the print disabled. And you can find the agenda there. As well, you can find it in our virtual convention platform. which takes me to my next item, the virtual convention platform. There are a couple of ways to get at this new avenue for us. This has sort of helped extend the offerings to all of you in this online environment. We looked around for the perfect solution that was dynamic and fully accessible and easy to use. Not surprisingly, we didn't find something that checked all the boxes and all the categories, but we think we found something that's fairly usable. There is both a mobile app component of this virtual exhibit platform as well as a web portal. And there are instructions on our website on how to get to either the web portal, and I'll give you that link, that URL real quickly. It's event.crowdcompass.com/NFB20. Or you can download the Crowd Compass Attendee Hub app from either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. The password for our event is NFB 2020. And again, this information is on our website. But if you are prompted, the password isn't really meant to block you out. It's to find all of the information, our agenda information from our convention. So punch in NFB 2020 and you will get a full account of what we have going on, as well as access to the exhibit hall. You'll also find that you can create a profile and you can chat with other attendees. We've got, at last look, I want to say I saw 4,300 of us using the virtual convention platform, either through the web or through the mobile app. So you'll see a lot of familiar friends in that space, and I encourage you to check that out. Certainly visit our virtual exhibit hall, see some of the familiar exhibit hall faces there. You'll also see a number of new organizations that have joined us this year. We appreciate everyone in the exhibit hall, especially those who are new to us and took the jump this year during an unusual year for us. But there are a lot of opportunities in there in the exhibit hall, so I encourage you to spend some time there throughout the week. Now, general session. Well, it sort of starts here with the board meeting, but as the week goes on, we will convene as a full group beyond the breakout sessions. Our first general session opening ceremonies will kick off tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And I say evening, for many of you, it'll be the afternoon, but that is 7 o'clock Eastern time. And this is something I should mention with respect to the agenda. Please note that all of those times are in Eastern Daylight Time. So you'll need to make an adjustment if you are attending convention in a different time zone. Would have been much easier if we were in Houston this year. We would have all been together in one time zone. No math necessary. So general sessions, opening session tomorrow at 7. On Friday, we have 2. The first general session gets started at 1:30 p.m. You don't want to miss that. President Riccobono will be giving his presidential report, and then we'll reconvene again that evening at 6:30 p.m. Saturday is a full day. We're going to start in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. We will convene again for a second session at 4:30. And then we'll adjourn. There won't be a rush for the elevators. You can take your time heading to your bedroom to get dressed up for the banquet. The banquet will begin at 7:30 Saturday evening. I strongly encourage you to be there. And I know, as has been discussed, many folks are getting together where their environments permit for banquet parties, and we're going to have the same excitement, the same fantastic banquet speech. We'll get to meet our scholarship finalists. There's a lot to look forward to, so I encourage you to be there at 7:30. There is no need to clear the ballroom by 5:03. So again, take your time after that final general session. Convention streaming. So most of you are here with us on Zoom, but that is not the only way you can access what's happening in general sessions throughout the week. There are a lot of options, additional options out there. Shoutcast is one we've used in the past. This link, as well as the next one, are on our website. You can go to, well, this is a long one. I'll say it, but go to our website if you'd like it. It's streaming.shoutcast.com/national-federation-of-the-blind. It's one of those grueling links that Will Schwatka is used to reading during a Braille monitor recording. Another way you can access the stream is YouTube. So you would head to our YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/user/nationsblind. And you can get our general session and banquet streams there as well. There is an option on NFB Newsline. As I mentioned, you select option 5 and select option 5 again, and then select the NFB 2020 convention stream. And quite a few people have been asking about this. There is an Amazon Alexa skill that you can enable and listen on your Amazon speaker. So you're going to want to enable the skill Nations Blind, National Federation of the Blind. That's critical that you enable that first. Once you've done so, all you need to say is, Alexa, open Nations Blind, and Alexa will connect you to our convention stream. Now, during our convention sessions, as you may have noticed in the warm up to the board meeting today, we will be answering some questions. If you are connected via the Zoom platform, you can take advantage of the Q&A feature. Submit your questions. We'll be actively answering questions for about 15 minutes before each session. Although we'll monitor it during general sessions, we're mostly going to follow up after general session so as not to take away from the presentation. If there are any immediate issues that arise, we'll be working to resolve them as soon as we can. But take advantage of that feature if you arrive early. I think the agenda makes reference to this, but as we usually do during the board meeting, we let folks know about guide dog relief areas. And as always, they're an important component of our convention. This year, they can actually be found in the same place that you used yesterday. I encourage you to continue using those throughout the week. Much easier to find than they are at than they were at the Mandalay Bay.
Will someone be coming to clean those, John? Or
I would not hold your breath. I'd encourage you to follow up on your own. We'll send folks virtual scoops. Now, this is obviously an entirely different environment for us for convention this year. Not something we would have ever imagined 6 months ago. Some things we think are going pretty well. Some things there are hiccups since this is all the first go around for us with a virtual convention. We're interested to know what you think. And after convention, we'll be pushing out a survey to our registered attendees. So if you gave us an email when you registered for convention this year, sometime next week, look for a survey. We'd like to hear back from you. What do you think worked well? What do you think could be done differently? We're always looking for suggestions. So we'd appreciate your feedback next week after you've had time to digest the breadth of the week. I mentioned exhibit hall. If you've been to the exhibit hall already, you've noticed there is over in one corner of the hall a very empty area where the Independence Market normally would be. However, the market is open this week, and if you want to reach them, we've got some special extended hours for convention week. The market is open right now, although I'd encourage you to wait until the end of the board meeting. There might be some news to latch onto before we adjourn. But the market is open until 6. It is open tomorrow, 9 to 6 again, as it was today. On Friday, we will be open from 9 to noon. And again, these are Eastern times. 9 to noon. We'll close down a little early as general sessions kick off, and then we will be closed on Saturday. You can give the folks in the market a call, just as you always would, 410-659-9314, and press 3 for the Independence Market. Folks are, some familiar voices are there to take your orders. So you don't have to spend the week without a cane tip. You can get one delivered on its way, maybe even before the end of the week. Now, I do have one final item, and this is an important one. This is actually a very important one. A lot of sessions in the agenda, and we've added some complexity with Zoom links. I want to draw your attention to the general session Zoom links in the agenda. You obviously figured out how to connect to today's session. There is a link for Thursday's general session, the 7 p.m. session. However, the Zoom hyperlinks for Friday and Saturday, so that's Friday afternoon, Friday evening, both sessions on Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening for the banquet, those links were incorrect in the agenda. All versions of the agenda have been corrected at this point. However, if you downloaded an agenda or wrote down the meeting ID for general sessions on Friday or Saturday, you'll need to get the corrected meeting IDs. They, as I say, they are now corrected on the website, all downloadable links. The virtual convention platform has been corrected. So anywhere you see a hyperlink that's been refreshed since this morning, those are correct. You can click them. You will be connected as you would expect. But I encourage you to double check those hyperlinks before you join us on Friday and before you join us on Saturday. I will tell you, on Friday, the link for the afternoon session and the evening session are the same link. Similarly, all day Saturday, our first general session, our second general session, and the banquet all use the same link throughout the day, but they are different links from day to day, or different meeting IDs. So that's an important thing. If you know someone who's not connecting via the internet, be sure to reach out and let them know that that the meeting ID is different than they may have been given earlier this week or prior to this week. I think that covers all of the convention events details that I can think of. President Rick Bono.
Thanks, John.
I'll turn it back to you.
Forgot one thing. Maybe you didn't know. As soon as this meeting adjourns, we're going to have cake here for your birthday.
Hey.
And we might also have other dessert treats you might enjoy.
Well, I invite everyone who's on the call to come by and have a slice of cake.
Yeah, first come, first serve. Thank you, John. I know it's been a long haul, actually over a short period of time, but you've done a great job shepherding us, and so thank you. And I know I'm sure you have 100 of other details to get back to. So happy birthday, and thanks for being here. Okay, I want to talk about, I know this is a moment that many have been anticipating. I want to talk about the attendance at this convention. And I was just looking at this report for the first time and realized I have not been giving the correct total number, and I know why, of registered participants. But you want to know first the top 10 states. And we're not going to take them from number 1. We're going to take them from number 10. Actually, we're going to take them from number 11 because you had to be number 11 or better to be more than 200 people registered. So number 11 with 223 people registered was Virginia. Hats off, Virginia. Great work. Number 10 with 231 people registered. Virginia almost got them into the top 10 is South Carolina. Congratulations, South Carolina. Number 9, 252 registered, Florida. Number 8, 266 registered, Ohio. Great job, Ohio. Number 7 with 278 registered, New Jersey. Great work, New Jersey. Now, to be in the top 6, you had to do better than 300, actually significantly better than 300. At number 6 with 323 registered, the great state of Louisiana. Number 5 with 352 registered, Colorado. Number 4 just missed 400. 398 people registered. Tremendous number. Arizona, congratulations, number 4. So to be in the top 3, you had to do 400 or better, and actually very, very close to 500 or better. Number 3 didn't quite make 500 with 482 people registered. Texas, sorry, Texas. But you did darn well, and we appreciate that's a huge number. 482, that's tremendous. Number 2 with 518 people registered, California. Great work, California. And number 1, needed 7 more. With 593 people registered, Maryland. Congratulations, Maryland. Almost made it to 600. Great work. I understand Maryland might have had a bet with Texas on this, our presidents. So sorry, Norma, but congratulations, Maryland. Total registered from the United States of America, 7,027 individuals. Total Canadians registered at this convention, 58, and total other foreign nations, 167. That gives us a grand total of 7,252 people registered at this convention. A great number. We know that many of you are not yet members, and we do hope you will become members of our organization very soon. We appreciate you being here. Okay, a couple other things to talk about related to convention. First of all, if you have an announcements, we only take announcements here at the podium to be considered during the general sessions in Braille. If you send them free matter, they're not going to get here on time. So we're going to help you with that. Since we don't think you're going to show up at the building with a piece of Braille, Beth Braun can take your announcement, turn it into Braille if we have time to consider it. We do have limited hours on general sessions, and we're going to be moving, so we can't take a lot of announcements. But if you have one you'd like considered, send it to Beth Braun at bbraun, that's BBRAUN, at nfb.org. Now, we are going to have door prizes at this convention, as we have for many, many years now. And it seems like, we haven't done this before, but it seems like we should have a door prize now. I don't know how the board feels about it, but it seems like a good idea. Do we have our door prize aficionados out there?
There are door prize aficionados sitting right here.
Hey, Bennett, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mr. President.
Sound great.
And there's Diane.
Hey, Diane.
Here I am.
There she is. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
to hear you.
I wouldn't miss this for anything. I have to say, this is, I cannot tell you how much we all appreciate this Zoom platform and all of the work that went into it. I have no idea, but congratulations to everybody. It's terrific.
It's great to hear your voice, Diane.
Great to hear yours too.
You guys want to give us a door prize? Tell us how door prizes are gonna
Absolutely.
work. Tell us how it's going to work.
I'd be
Ben,
glad to.
I'm gonna let you do this one due to some issues, but we've got it worked out. That's all that matters. But go ahead and give the first prize.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I appreciate, first of all, I wanted to thank John Bergman for the tremendous presentation about the convention, and any presentation after his is a piece of cake. So I thank him very much. Okay, first of all, you have to have been registered to be in the convention, to be in the pool of people who can win prizes, first of all.
Did you register, Ben?
I did.
Okay,
very,
good.
very long ago. You must be present to win by listening to the stream or on Zoom, and then respond within 10 minutes to win the prize. We're going to do a little different this year. We're going to award prizes in groups of 5 names. So we'll do 5 prizes at once whenever we're called upon to do those prizes. We have some tremendous donors and tremendous state affiliates, etc., that have provided door prizes for us. So it's going to be one of those things where we'll give 5 prizes at a time. And if you're in the Zoom room, you can use the raise your hand feature so that we can find you. And if you're listening on the stream from anywhere in the world, you have 10 minutes to send an email or text. You can do either one, an email or a text, to prize, that's Prize for those who are spelling impaired, prize at nfb.org with your first and last name. And then we'll be giving you each group will have its own special keyword or code word, that is, so that we can see that you were there and that you knew what they were. So you have to send an email or text to prize@nfb.org and the first and last name and the code word for the prizes that you will win. We'll announce the name of the person and the state, so that if we get 2 people with the same name, if they're different states, then we'll have. So that's the way it's going to work. Winners will receive their prizes within about 2 weeks after the convention. And if you don't seem to get your door prize, or you don't think you've gotten it yet, and it hasn't shown up, you can always send a message to prize@nfb.org, and you will be dealt with respect to tracking the prize and where it might be. So here we have 5 names, and I'm going to that have been selected. I want to thank the financial services folks. They're great people to work with, and it's tremendous that we have these door prizes to give you, and they're grouped in such a way that the 5 names that we have will receive similar prizes, or like prizes anyway. So I'm going to call the name, and then I'm going to talk about where they're from, give the state and the door prize and the prize, and then I will give you the key or code word. So the first winner that you will hear is Deborah Meng, and she's from Janesville, Wisconsin, Mr. President.
I lived there once. That's cool.
That's right. That's right.
And she got a gift card for $50. And if she is not in Zoom to raise her hand, you can always send a message with your first and last name to prize@nfb.org and write the word Tenbrook. That's if for those people who are young enough that they don't know how to spell the founder of our NFB's name, it is small t, E, capital B. I'm sorry, small, maybe I'm not old enough. Okay. Small t, E, N, capital B, R-O-E-K, Tenbrook. And if you spell it,
I'll take it if it's spelled wrong, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't spell it right, I don't think you're in Dutch. Anyway, so.
Just let me say, Bennett, while you're getting the next name, that in order to raise your hand on Zoom, *9 if you're on a telephone, or Alt-Y on a PC. I always forget what the Mac command is.
Command, I don't know.
I'll get it before we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, Alt-Y, you can raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you as being here. Go ahead, Bennett.
All right, the next one is Michelle Gardner from Towson, Maryland. She gets a $50 gift card. And if she's sending a message via email or text to prize@nfb.org. She should put her first and last name and Tenbrook in the text or message. The third one is Bethany, I knew how to say this earlier, Saavedra, that is, and she is from Yuma, Arizona. So she's out west here. And Sheila Buckner is the fourth winner, and she's from Sweetland, Maryland, or Sweetland, Maryland. And the fifth and final winner this time is Quani Pickens from Maryland as well. Quani Pickens. So if you raise your hand if you're in the Zoom room, and if you send a message via email or text to prize@nfb.org, put your first and last names and the code word Tenbrook. That's the door prize, and that's how we work it, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Bennett. Diane, appreciate that. I heard Maryland, but not quite the names I was hoping for, but you know, it's okay.
Mr. President, now just hold on.
Yeah.
I went through this. I've been doing this since 1997, and I'm so proud to do it. So tickled we worked it out this year. Anyway, people used to say to me every time, well, you call Maryland a lot. I said, that's because they registered lots of people. And that's true. It worked out again today.
That's right.
It's just the way it falls. Congratulations to everybody.
So you said 97, Diane?
Yes.
Okay.
You never knew how old I was.
Seems like a
And
lot
I'm not
longer
going
ago
to
than
tell
that.
you.
You just started
I'm
talking.
not going to tell you.
You sure it wasn't 77?
All right. Well, thanks, Bennett.
Thank
Diane,
you.
appreciate it.
Wait, what did I say? Did I say 97?
You did. That's why I was wondering.
Oh, I'm sorry. No wonder you're fussing at me. 1977.
There we go.
And
Okay,
that was in New Orleans. And every convention, I haven't missed any. And everyone is terrific.
Yeah, well, 97 was New Orleans too. So, well, thanks to both of you. We're going to move on. I do want to say that it's the command on the Mac is Option plus Y to raise your hand on the Mac. Okay, we're going to move on. We got some other convention related things here. The presidential suite is still open. You heard Norma talk about it. Thanks to those who have been hanging out there and coming by and making appointments to meet with myself or Melissa. Here are the remaining hours for the presidential suite. You can find the link for it on the nfb.org/convention page, the Zoom link. It Wednesday open from 6 to 9 p.m. Again, these times are Eastern. Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Friday will be open from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 12 noon. So please come by, make an appointment. A number of our leaders and members who have been volunteering there, helping out. So I appreciate that. Let's see, future convention. We'll come back to that. Convention communications. Those of you in social media have already been using hashtag NFB20. It's been a tremendous amount of great conversation going on the hashtag NFB20. Also should mention NFB20 Move if you're participating in the sports and rec fitness activities. I posted my stats last night. I got in 12,000 steps on day one of the convention. I'm going to have to stretch it today to get there. You should check out our publications if you're not familiar with them at nfb.org/publications. You can find our Braille Monitor, our blog, all sorts of great communications that we have in the Federation. You can also sign up for our e-newsletter, which we call Imagineering Our Future. You can find that at nfb.org/resources/publications media we're going to post this, by the way, media Imagineering our future That's the link to go to check out our e-newsletter and sign up to receive it via email. Okay, I think those are the convention announcements for the moment. I want to now introduce a special award presentation, and here to give this is the chairperson of our Distinguished Educator of Blind Students Award Committee. She is a member of the Board of Directors and president of the National Federation of the Blind of Oregon. Here is Carla McQuillan. Hey, Carla.
Hey, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. I'd like to start by thanking the members of the committee. That would be Michelle Chacon, Emily Gibbs, Eric Guillory, and Dan Wenzel. Thank you very much for going through the applications and making the tough decisions. We, in the National Federation of the Blind, we understand that a solid quality education in early childhood is critical for the success of our blind children. So since 1988, we have been giving the Distinguished Educator of Blind Students Award to those educators who distinguish themselves in the field by going above and beyond the expectations of their job description. This year, our recipient has not only been in the field of education of blind children for over 20 years, but her volunteer work in her community in the state of Texas has been inspirational, to say the least. She has worked with children, their families, seniors, and in our Bell Academy in Texas as a volunteer for many years now. But to tell you what this individual will receive, she will be speaking to the National Organization of Parents of Blind Children at this convention. She will receive a check in the amount of $1,000, and she will receive a plaque. And the plaque reads as follows: the National Federation of the Blind honors Graciela Olivo for her skills in teaching Braille and other techniques of blindness, for devoting graciously extra time to her students to meet their needs, and for empowering her students to perform beyond their expectations. You champion our movement, you strengthen our hopes, and you share our dreams. July 15th, 2020. Graciela, would you like to say a few words to the convention? Because you certainly tell your story better than I.
I really want to thank you very much. Good afternoon, National Federation of the Blind members. I would like to extend a grateful and heartfelt thanks to the following persons for choosing me as this year's National Federation of the Blind's Distinguished Educator of Blind Children. My thanks go out to the following: Mr. Mark Riccobono, Ms. Carla McQuillan, Ms. Carlton and Cook Walker, Ms. Kimberly Banks, Ms. Norma Crosby, Ms. Liz Wisecarver, who nominated me for this position, Mr. Daniel Martinez, who was my former student and who initiated this nomination, and to our local NFB chapter here in the Rio Grande Valley for all their support. I want to give thanks to God for giving me this ability and who made it possible for me to serve those students whom He's placed in my path to teach. Thanks to all of you for thinking so highly of me. I'm humbled and honored to be a part of NFB and for this prestigious award, as well as for the opportunity to serve others through the National Federation of the Blind. I only ask that I may be permitted to continue working with the blind and visually impaired for many more years to come, and that I make you proud. May God bless you. Ms. Carlton and Cook asked me what the title of my speech would be. And I said, virtual reality versus reality. How is that, you say? Well, I never thought of teaching blind or visually impaired students. As a matter of fact, I was teaching home economics, food service skills to middle school students when I was approached about a blind student requesting to be in my class. What? No way. I don't know anything about working with blind students. I'm not trained to work with blind students. God has other plans. This blind student's VI teacher told me that he had every right to be in my class and that I had the responsibility as a vocational teacher to teach him just as I was teaching all the other students in that class. Well, by the time the conversation was over, we were both a mess. She walked out of my classroom crying, and I walked over to the principal's office crying my eyes out, telling him there was no way this was ever going to happen and that I would rather quit than do this. He calmed me down and he said, "Let's talk tomorrow." When I came in the next day, before me, as I signed in, there was a poster that read, "University of Texas Teachers of the Blind will be coming down to the Region 1 Education Service Center and will be offering classes for educators to become certified teachers of the blind and visually impaired." This made me really angry. I tore it off the wall and I took it in to the principal and I told him, "You did this on purpose." He told me that he hadn't seen it, but maybe it was a sign from a higher power. He told me that he hadn't seen it, and so he asked, "Maybe we need to work on this, and you and I can do this together." By that afternoon, he'd gotten the information he needed, and this was the beginning of my entry into the world of VI. The information stated that I would need to go to Edinburgh, which is a city about 45 minutes away, to take classes every other weekend starting Friday noon and ending Sunday late afternoons. This meant cutting out my classes and getting a substitute. All too much for me to handle, but my principal made all the arrangements for me to go out and not stress too much. This also meant that I'd be traveling back and forth, which was meaning gas money. Times were hard at that time, and money was tight in my family. It was suggested that we make arrangements to stay at a nearby hotel to avoid so much traveling. Again, more money. But soon the university paid for everything, including books and registration, all at no cost to us. Things started falling into place, and I really couldn't believe it. After all my coursework was done, I got a call from the special education department of my school district saying that they were in need of my VI services. At that time, I reluctantly left home economics. But in hindsight, I've never looked back, as this was definitely my calling. Now I know you do what the Lord has planned for you, not what you want. This is reality. Thank you for this recognition, and I look forward to continuing my journey in helping the lives of the blind and visually impaired in my community and in other communities that I might be able to help out with. Thank you very much.
Graciela, thank you very much. Congratulations to you. I do have your plaque right here in my hand. Sorry, we can't hand it to you, but we are going to ship it to you very soon. And we appreciate the work that you're doing to raise expectations for blind youth and educators really all over this country. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us here at the board meeting. And thank you, Carla, and to the members of our Distinguished Educator of Blind Students Committee. And those of you out there who know of great educators blind students that should be nominated, there will be an award next year, I'm sure. So please be on the lookout and let's get some great nominations in so we can continue to acknowledge the tremendous educators out there. There will be a number of division meetings happening at this convention, and there may be changes in division officers and board members. Please send those to Office of the President at nfb.org as soon as you have them so we can update our records. Divisions are a part of the National Federation of the Blind, and their purpose is to help build our organization with specialized resources and knowledge. National divisions are asked to submit an annual report. This year, the annual report is due to the Office of the President no later than August 17th. You division presidents will be seeing an email about that very soon to remind you and to give you the information about the report for this year. It's all stuff that I'm sure you'll be talking about at your division meetings coming up. We have committees in the National Federation of the Blind. You've heard about some of them: Diversity of Inclusion, Membership, our Distinguished Educator Award. The committees are listed in our agenda. If you're interested in being appointed to a committee, members are eligible to write to Office of the President at nfb.org and express your interest in being appointed to a committee. Committees are usually appointed for a one-year term, and committees are appointed by the president. So please write to me and let me know if you're interested in serving on committees. I know I was talking to people in the presidential suite today about committees. We have a number of partners that we work with on a regular basis. We've talked about our sponsors. Another is the American Action Fund for Blind Children and Adults. We helped the Action Fund celebrate its 100th anniversary at our convention last year. And during COVID-19, the Action Fund has continued to send out free Braille books to well over 4,000 blind youth across the country. So I'd encourage you to know about the free Braille books program. We help with that program as a partner. And if you are one of our families are out there that aren't signed up, we would encourage you to get signed up for the free Braille books. You can send an email to communityrelations@actionfund.org, or you can visit actionfund.org and find more information there about all the programs of the American Action Fund, including the free Braille calendars, which you will receive information about very soon, I'm sure. Usually we launch them here at this convention, but since we're not together, you can't pick one up, but there will be 2021 calendars available. I want to give a special thank you to Mrs. Patricia Maurer, who has helped to manage the free Braille books program for a long time and continues to work hard to make sure that Braille books, free Braille books, are getting out to blind kids. We also work with the Action Fund to give away free long white canes and slates and styluses. So you can find information about that on the website. And I also want to mention that the past year, the Action Fund, we partnered with the Action Fund to promote the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. You may remember the Federation started this program many decades ago. The Action Fund is now administering this nationwide reading program, and we supported it by spreading the word, and we also donated to the participants in this year's Braille Readers Are Leaders contest decks of Braille Uno Braille cards. So congratulations to all our Braille Readers Are Leaders contest participants. There will be another contest this fall, so I encourage you to check that out. Finally, want to let you know that this evening, 6 o'clock, there will be a session, the Ultimate Online Braille Book Fair, promoting the work of the Action Fund and the Share Braille project. Usually we have a big in-person book fair at our convention, but since we're distanced, we're fortunate that the Action Fund has been operating sharebraille.org. You can get on this event at 6 o'clock. You can find the Zoom ID, but in case you want it, it is 942-7242-9 6211. Of course, it's in the agenda, 6 o'clock tonight. Here, now we're going to have some presentations about our various funds to support the work that we do. And here to talk to us about our, what we call our rainy day fund, is Sandy Halverson from Virginia. I note that it is our rainy day fund, but it's not a rainy day, right, Sandy? We're still.
And you are absolutely correct. I think it's day 20 in Virginia for 90 degrees or over. That's a little too much sun, Mr. President.
Well, we never have enough sun here. So tell us about it, Sandy.
I am happy to do it. You know, I can't give the usual sun table shout out that is often heard during convention. And the desk where I am sitting this afternoon does not look like a hotel table. It doesn't have a tablecloth, but I'll manage. We've often wondered in the National Federation of the Blind, what would constitute an emergency so great that money donated to our Shares Unlimited and NFB fund would be needed. I think that this has come maybe the closest with the evolution of the pandemic and the fact that we're on Zoom platforms and we're using our money in different ways. So if we had no rainy day fund, we'd have a real problem. And I think that later during the convention, we're going to hear about the Give 20 campaign and ways that affiliates and members can donate this week. So I won't talk much about that. The report that I have today to give to or to present to you, Mr. President, and our board of directors covers the time period from June 1, 2019 through April 30 of 2020. And I'm pleased to say that our number of affiliates is decreasing that are not currently contributing, and maybe by 2021 we'll have all of our 52 affiliates participating in our Sun program. So at number 52 is Wyoming with 0, 51 is Vermont at 0, 50 is Maine at 0, 49 is the District of Columbia at 0. And I know Sean will change that very soon. And 48 is Arkansas at 0. Number 47 is Pennsylvania with $5. 46 is Connecticut with $5. 45 is Rhode Island with $50. 44 is Kentucky at $50. 43, Georgia, $50. 42, Delaware, $75. 41, Alaska, $75. 40 is Texas at $95. 39 is South Dakota at $100. 38 is Puerto Rico at $100. 37, North Dakota, $100. 36 is Indiana at $100. 35 is Iowa at $110. 34 is Washington at $120. 33, Minnesota, $120. 32, Tennessee, $125. 31, West Virginia, $150. 30, Missouri, $150. 29 is North Carolina at $200. 28, Nevada at $200. 27, Montana at $200. 26, Alabama at $200. 25 is New Hampshire at $230. 24, Arizona at $230. 23 is Michigan at $250. 22 is Kansas at $300. 21 is Hawaii at $300. 20 is New York at $310. 19 is Florida at $315. 18 is New Jersey at $320. 17 is Oregon at $375. 16 is Nebraska at $390. 15 is Massachusetts at $425. 14 is Mississippi at $440. 13 is South Carolina at $495. 12 is Wisconsin at $500. 11, Oklahoma at $525. And 10 is California at $540. Number 9 is Utah at $556. 8 is New Mexico at $600. 7 is Idaho at $640. 6 is Colorado at $750. 5 is Louisiana at $870. 4 is Ohio at $1,000. 3, Maryland, $1,195. 2 is Illinois at $1,335. And gosh, the only state that hasn't been mentioned, Mr. President, must be number 1, and that's Virginia at $2,815.34, giving us a state's total of $18,086.34. And the amount collected not attributable to states is $2,112 for a grand total of $20,198.34. And a total Sun assets of $1,542,326.64. My hope is that during this week, as our affiliates caucus, there are lots of ways to give to Sun. You can send a check to our National Center. If you do, just remember to write Sun, S-U-N, in the memo. Our national office will be happy to have your contribution, but it won't go to Sun unless you direct it to Sun. And there are other ways you can give. You can give monthly. And I think for right now, that is my report, sir.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Good to hear your voice, and
Good to hear
congratulations to Virginia for continuing to bring the sun. I don't know whether I should encourage it to rain there, but I know in the
No, it's
National
okay.
Federation of the Blind, we have not come to our rainy day yet, so we're glad
Good.
for that. Thank you.
Here comes the sun.
Next, to give a presentation about our pre-authorized contribution program is the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Colorado. Here's Scott Labar. Scott?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I am talking to you from sunny Colorado, where we've had too much sun lately. We've had, I think, over 12 days of 90 plus and very little rain. So work on it, Sandy. Maybe you can get us some rain because we have too much sun at this point. I am chairman of our pre-authorized contribution plan committee, the PAC plan. It's not a political action committee. And this year it is my privilege to have a vice chair, a brand new vice chair. He is the president of the NFB of Minnesota, the state where I grew up and first got involved in the Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, say hi to Ryan Strunk. Are you there, Ryan?
I certainly am. Good afternoon and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to work with you on this project, Scott. We,
and
I do hope someday to have you come back to Minnesota, but for now, I'll hold down the fort.
Well, you just never know. I love Minnesota. It's a great state. I'm still a Minnesota Twins fan, a Vikings fan, and so on, even though I'm here in Colorado. So what is our pre-authorized contribution committee, and what is that plan? It is a way for us as members to give on a regular basis to the National Federation of the Blind. What we do is collect a contribution from you each month, and there are many different ways that we can collect that contribution. You can give us the bank account information for your checking account or a savings account. We can take the account number and the bank routing number, and we can withdraw the money automatically from those accounts. We can take credit cards, we can take debit cards as well. And what we do is once a month is take an automatic withdrawal from that account or that card, and that money goes into the general treasury of the National Federation of the Blind. The PAC plan was started in 1976. And since that time, we have literally raised tens of millions of dollars for the work in the Federation. What does that money go for? It goes for many things. It goes to our scholarship program, our legal program. It goes to our educational programs like Bell and all the others. It goes to pay staff. It goes to keep the lights on at the National Center. I think it is fair to say that without the PAC plan over these many years, the Federation would not be able to do all the wonderful work that it has done over these years. Now, you know, it takes money to run our movement. We have great ideas, great goals, great accomplishments, but we cannot achieve those accomplishments without the resources. And every single member can help out on our PAC plan. And I hope this year, through this virtual environment, we are reaching new people that will join us on the PAC plan. So where are we? You know, when this pandemic started, Mr. President, I was very worried that the PAC plan would really tank. Why? Because people were losing their jobs left and right, and people were suffering all kinds of hardship just to keep the basics provided in their homes. And I am happy to say, though, that has not been the case. At the beginning of this year, we were bringing in a projected $471,000 a year on the PAC plan. Currently, we are at approximately $466,000 a year on the PAC plan. Now, every year, you know, Mr. President, that I get greedy. I want to keep increasing the numbers, and I think we have the opportunity to do that at this convention. I would absolutely love if we could get to $500,000 a year annualized on the PAC program. How do you sign up? Well, the first thing you need to know is there is a minimum contribution. The minimum contribution is $5 a month. And I usually say at our conventions that, you know, that's half the price of a beer in this hotel. Well, I can't say that this year. But in any event, it's $5 a month. And there, of course, is no maximum. Let me say, for example, that one of the reasons our PAC numbers are a little bit down is we recently lost a member who was giving over $500 a month on the PAC plan. That's obviously a difference of $6,000 a year. So in any event, I'm very proud of how we've been doing on the PAC plan. Now, usually, as Sandy was telling you, we have a PAC table in the back, like PAC plan this way. Well, we can't do that this year. So we have a virtual PAC table. How do you sign up? We've got a couple of different ways to do so, Mr. President. We have an online, a completely accessible online form. You can reach that, ladies and gentlemen, at nfb.org/PAC, P-A-C. Now, on this form, you have the ability to do either increase your pledge if you're already on the PAC plan or start a new pledge. The form is self-explanatory, except I do want to say one thing. When you go through the fields, you'll see first name, last name, and then the next field has to do with whether or not you are doing PAC business on behalf of an affiliate, division, or chapter. If you are doing an individual increase or an individual pledge, you don't need to fill out that field. You can skip that. Now, if you are raising the PAC or starting a new PAC for an affiliate, that is when you need to fill out that particular field. The rest of the field is, the rest of the form is, I think, self-explanatory. So you can go to that form, www.nfb.org/PAC. Now, if you need help filling out that form, we can give you that help. We have a brand new PAC line, and you can call 1-877-NFB-2-PAC. Now, that equates to 1-877-632-2722, 632-2722. You will hear a voicemail. Leave your name, number, how we can get a hold of you, and we will call you back as soon as we possibly can and help you fill out that PAC form. Now, there's one more step. If you are a new person on our PAC plan, We will also be calling you to gather your financial data. And we will get to you absolutely as quickly as we can, but understand that we only have so many folks that are able to process the financial information, because if you're already on PAC, we don't need your financial data unless you're changing how you're giving, unless you're changing your count or your card or whatever. But if you are signing up new on PAC, Mr. President, we do need to talk to you about what card you want to use or what your bank account is. And so please be patient with us. We will get to you as soon as we can. Again, that number is 877-632-2722. Now, we are running a number of contests at this convention, just as we normally do. We have what I call the PAC critters. All right, the first PAC critter is the PAC rat. This will be awarded at the banquet to the affiliate that conducts the most PAC business here at that convention. The most people that either sign up on PAC or do new pledges. That affiliate, the one with the most activity, will win the PAC rat. All right, Maryland often thinks that it will always win the PAC rat, and you know, it doesn't, to be quite frank. Now, we have the PAC mule. The PAC mule is for the division that does the most business at this convention. And finally, the pachyderm. The pachyderm goes to the affiliate that increases its pledge the most in terms of a percentage. This often goes to a small affiliate. And so that is the pachyderm. We have a number of individual contests at this convention. We will do a drawing at the banquet for a $250 gift card in the following categories. For all those who have increased their pledge, their name will go into a virtual hat and be drawn. And for all those who have started a new pledge, that will be for a drawing of $250. Now, usually at these conventions, I would say, I'm announcing the start of a new contest period. Get back to the PAC table and the next 20 people will get some PAC swag. And we've gotten all kinds of wonderful donations over the years. Popcorn balls from Nebraska, Kona coffee from Hawaii, Wisconsin cheese curds and Iowa scissors and on and on and on, and Who's It ties from New Jersey and whatever. We've been able to give out a lot of PAC swag. Well, that would be really hard to do this year, but we are going to have drawings for each session of the convention, including this one. And if you either increase or start a new pledge, we will put your name into the virtual hat, and we will draw gift cards of $25 each for 5 people that sign up or increase their pledge during that session. I want to thank the several affiliates that have donated these cards for this purpose. I will give a list of those in another PAC report. So if you sign up right now or call us right now, you will get into the first drawing that we will be having. Another thing I wanted to mention is that state affiliates, chapters, and divisions can all be on the PAC plan. And many are, but not all. So I would love to see if we could get 100% contribution from all of our affiliates and get as close to that number as possible with our divisions and our chapters. So if your affiliate, division, or chapter is not on the PAC plan, get back to the virtual PAC table. And I also want to say is, you don't necessarily have to be a member of the Federation to get on the PAC plan. Somebody asked me, hey, can my mom get on the PAC plan? Can my aunt get on the PAC plan? Absolutely. And you can give them that URL, nfb.org/PAC or 877-632-2722. Operators are waiting now. Anyway, so give them the information. Thank you, Ryan. About our PAC program. And I want to say one other thing before I'm going to kick this over to Ryan to read.
Just one? Good. Go, keep going.
Well, maybe more than one.
Come on.
You know, you might have legitimate grounds to have the audacity to doubt my veracity. But anyway, we're going to be, after this convention, we're going to be updating that PAC form so that not only can you sign up or increase your pledge, we will be able to collect your financial data as well. So you will be able to do the whole process online. This is going to be really cool. So, Mr. President, our PAC program really is kind of our moonshot. It is our shot to build the Federation, getting the resources to exceed our expectations. So we have a little sound bit we'd like to play about the PAC plan.
And I want to say too, as we do this, this is a very authentic historical thing that that we managed to unearth from the archive. So you will really appreciate this piece of history here.
Absolutely.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for
The PAC plan.
one giant leap for
The National Federation of the Blind.
So let's shoot for the moon
That
and break
archive.
on through. It's not exactly the song, but what the heck.
Our new archivist must have found that. That's awesome.
Yes, we found it in the Ten Brook Library, Mr. President. It's amazing what you can find. So now I want to turn it over to Ryan to do a reading of current state rankings. Ryan, I don't know how you're set up, but if you can do the top 25 or top 20, I think that would be awesome.
Top 10 would be better.
Yeah. Oh, the top 10 would be better. All right. I can
He can
make
shift
that
gears,
happen.
I think.
All right. Now I want to say, if I look down here at number 11, then I'm not starting with the top 10. So let's definitely do the top 10 here. Number 10 with $1,097 is Ohio. I'm going to turn up my speech here. Number 9 is Texas, currently giving $1,126. Number 8, Idaho, $1,130. Flying east is the state of Missouri. At number 7, $1,187. As we then continue, number 6 is the great state of Louisiana, currently rocking $1,431. Moving up just ahead of Louisiana. So Louisiana, get back to the virtual fact table. Number 5 is California, $1,493. Number 4 is a state that I am quite proud of. That is the state of Minnesota, giving $1,877. Now, I'm proud of the rest of you guys too, but I'm particularly proud of Minnesota. We're number 4. All right. Number 3, breaking the $2,000 mark each month, is the state of Virginia, $2,054. Number 2 is a state that someone else, I imagine, is proud of, and that is Colorado.
Yay!
Coming in at number 2, $3,657. And finally, rounding
You
out
don't
the
have to
top
do one.
10. Well, that's fair. I think they probably know who they are. But just in case they'll feel bad, number 1 is the state of Maryland, currently giving $5,541 and with and 82 cents. You should know that there's 82 cents in there too.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. This is the Pac-Men signing off.
Thank you, Scott and Ryan. Appreciate it, and appreciate all the participants in the PAC program. Now, Scott said if you're a member, you can contribute. Of course, anybody can contribute to the PAC program, whether you're a member or not. If you like the work that the National Federation of the Blind is doing, you can get on the PAC plan. We have a number of other presentations, so I want to keep it moving. And so that's a note to our other presenters, if they could keep that in mind as well. But I do want to give adequate time to our Director of Outreach, who helps to keep a lot of our programs moving in terms of bringing dollars into the organization. She's been very busy during these last few months stewarding our donors who have really stepped up to support us. So I want to now call to the microphone from the great state of Illinois, Patty Chang.
Thank you, Mr. President. Apologies. First off, I've got technical difficulties, so I'm going off my phone. My computer went out not 10 minutes before this meeting. So I'll do what I can and hope the jaws isn't spilling through. I wanted to talk about one more sponsor, a very, very special sponsor, and that is UPS. We all missed their volunteers, and they have sponsored again this year. So I'll give a virtual shout out to UPS. And then a lot of you have been wondering how we did on that Giving Tuesday Now campaign that we all heard about in May. The Giving Tuesday Now was a universal international day of giving around COVID. And we decided to participate, pulled out all the stops, and we did more than 25,000. We did more than 40,000. All in all, gifts that came in around Giving Tuesday Now, and I believe this is the biggest giving day we've ever done. Brought in more than $67,000. Amazing, and thanks to everyone who participated, spread the word, made that happen. That was just an amazing result. We still have our vehicle donation program. This is a great way to give to the Federation. You get a car that you don't need anymore, you get a boat. We have auction sites in every affiliate. Yes, including Hawaii and Alaska. How do you give a vehicle? You call 855. The rest of this will sound pretty familiar. 855-659-9314. As long as we're thinking about things, cleaning out the outsides of our houses, let's think about cleaning out the inside. One of our most lucrative giving programs that we have around household goods is Green Drop. So if you are lucky enough to live in one of 8 states, you can take things to the drop-off site or ask for a pickup. Take household goods and the like. And the number for Green Drop, not quite as easy to remember, but it is 888-944-DROP. So 888-944-3767. I promised I'd give those states, didn't I? So if you live in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, or Delaware, or you live in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or the District of Columbia, you can participate in Green Drop. I noticed that this year Green Drop has been increasing in the money that they contribute to the National Federation line each month, which is a bit of a surprise given COVID. So all of you that have cleaned out your homes while you've been on lockdown, now is the time to call. All right, I want to, keeping in mind that Mr. President would like us to keep this board meeting to its reasonable amount of time limits. Dreammaker Circle. This is our legacy society. If you want to plan for the future, and we listen to a lot of people who are members of the circle talk about it, and what they talk about is the children. You know, I used to think at one time, I hoped that the need for the Federation would disappear. And what I've learned with time is that it doesn't disappear. The things that we need to advocate for simply change. So it's really important that we keep the next generation in mind. And all of you are sitting there thinking, oh, I don't want to do a will. I know. You don't have to do a will. There are lots of easy ways to become a member of the Dreammaker Circle and plan for the future. This is the gift that we hope we don't take for a good long time, because it's a gift that's only given after your passing. But if you want to help give a legacy forever, think about doing a payable on death bank account. Go to your bank, fill out a form. It's free. Takes about a half an hour. Francisco and I did ours. I don't know, I think it took a little less than a half an hour, to be honest with you. Life insurance, retirement plans, you can name the National Federation Blind as a beneficiary. For more information on Dreammaker Circle, I'll read some names in a second, but for more information on Dreammaker Circle, please feel free to reach out to Outreach at extension 2422, or you can directly email me, pchang@nfb.org. We want to especially thank right now the estate of Frank Ricks. Mr. Ricks has passed, and that estate is distributing right now Since the last presidential release, we've had all kinds of activity on Dreammaker Circle. So let's all thank the newest members and welcome them to the Dreammaker Circle. They are George Alejandro Pease of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Alan W. Zoller of Gainesville, Texas. And Bonnie O'Day of Alexandria, Virginia. Now, you've heard from me in Dreammaker Circle, but as I said before, it's kind of nice to talk to people who are members. I am a member, but we have our newest board member is also a member. So if we can queue up, I'd like you to hear directly from Terry.
National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Hi, my name is Terry Rupp. My family and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. When my husband and I became parents, we thought it would be responsible to create a plan for our children in case something were to happen to us. As active members of the National Federation of the Blind, as a leader in our organization, we also think it's important to create a plan to take care of our Federation family. As parents of a blind child, we've decided to join the Dreammaker Circle and invite you to join along with us.
You can help blind children and adults for generations to come by joining the Dreammaker Circle too. Learn more at nfb.org/planned-giving or call 410-659-9314 extension 2422. National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Thank you, Patty. Appreciate it, and appreciate your work to get people inspired around the Dreammaker Circle. Melissa and I are members, and we appreciate all those who are. We hope that some do sign up during this convention. You've heard mention of our Give 20 campaign, a special thing we're doing this year that is making a difference in these difficult times. Here to talk about it on behalf of our White Cane Committee, that's our general fund donation space, is the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Utah and a national board member. Here's Everett Bacon.
Play ball. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
That's
thank you.
That's next week.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to tell you a little bit about the Give 20 campaign. This is something that all of you have an opportunity to participate in. Many of you remember or have been around our conventions, and you'll hear some federation yell out, Jernigan Raffle Fund. Well, we can't really do the Jernigan Raffle Fund this year, but we're doing it in a different way. So we are actually set up the Give 20 campaign. This campaign actually opened up on May 15th and will go through July 18th at noon Eastern time. But if you give $20 to any of the funds that are supported or that are supporting the National Federation of the Blind, you will be entered into a drawing to win a really awesome prize. That prize is 2 free tickets to next year's 2021 convention, which I know all of us are awaiting where that is going to be. And then you will also get hotel accommodations for that trip. You will also receive 2 registration and banquet tickets. And you'll also get $1,000 walking around money, which is really awesome. And you can use that at the convention in 2021. So that's an awesome prize. This Give 20 campaign, there's 4 different funds you can give to. You can give to the Jernigan Fund. The Jernigan Fund allows for first timers to get an opportunity to come to our national convention. It funds directly for those individuals. The White Cane General Fund, which President Riccobona spoke about, and I am chairman of the White Cane Fund Committee. which funds many things, not just our Free White Cane Fund program, but many things regarding our general fund. All the things that Scott LeVar talked about with the PAC plan, whether that be the Bell program, with legal activities, and so on and so on. That's what the general fund supports. The Sun Fund, which is our rainy day fund, you could choose that. And then you could also choose the Tenbrook Fund. The Tenbrook Fund basically owns the property that is at 200 East Wells Street, Jernigan Place. So all of our big building there and the property around it that the Tenbrook Fund owns. So you could give $20 to any of those different funds, and you will be entered into the drawing. Now, if you wanted to give $100, well, you get 5 entries into the drawing. So that's pretty cool. The drawing will take place at the banquet this Saturday evening. So you must get in your donations before July 18th at noon Eastern. And now you probably want to know, how do you donate? Well, you've got a couple of ways you can do that. First, you can go to nfb.org/donate. Or if you just want to go to the main website, nfb.org, there is a donate button for you sighted people that need that sighted donate button. You can click on that. And once you're at the donate page, just fill out the form. There's a contribution line, a memo line that you can put there. And all you have to do there is put which fund you want your donation to go to. So if you want to get $20 to the White Cane Fund, $20 to the Jernigan Fund, and so on, you just put that in the memo line there, the contribution line on the donate page, and then finish and donate your funds. It takes the amount directly from your credit card. It's a really easy thing to do. I just did a $100 donation today. Of course, I did it to the White Cane Fund. And there's another way you can do it. If you don't want to do it online, you can call our general line 410-659-9314 and just pick option 4, and you can donate verbally. Basically, just leave a message at option 4 and say you want to donate to the Give 20 campaign. Someone will call you back, and you can make your donation over the phone. The Give 20 campaign is an awesome campaign. We hope that all of you will give a little bit more extra and get into on that opportunity to win that awesome prize next year. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Everett. Appreciate it. And you mentioned the Jernigan Fund, and so I want to give our president of the National Federation of the Blind of Virginia and chairman of our Jernigan Fund an opportunity to talk about some innovative activities the Jernigan Fund has been pursuing. Tracy, how you doing?
President Riccobono, wonderful, though I'm a little struggling with the fact that there is a tie around my neck for the first time in months. President Riccobono, members of the board of directors, and Federation family, attending your first convention of the National Federation of the Blind is a powerful experience. Our longtime leader, Kenneth Jernigan, knew the spark. For more than 40 years, he helped plan our convention, and he knew the spark of Federation spirit could be fanned into a flame by connecting individuals with positive blind role models. Our first timers this year have struck a match. This year, we've actually matched our 42 participants in the Kenneth Jernigan mentoring program with leaders from our Kenneth Jernigan committee. And those committee members have provided these first timers mentoring, insights, and connections so they can experience that flame of and pride of our convention experience. Many of our members have chosen to recall that flame by participating in the Convention Memory Minute Contest, in 1 minute sharing an experience from their first convention. And throughout the convention, we're going to share some of these top contest entries. Let's watch one of them. Let's roll.
July 6, 2001, National Federation of the Blind Scholarship presented to Jennifer Kennedy. That's me. The scholarship program took me to Philadelphia to my first convention. This will be my 20th. I attended lots of different events at that convention, the most vivid being programming put on by our NFB training centers, a place where you could learn blindness skills. I met my first cane travel instructor who was blind there. I was so puzzled. I said to him, "That can't be safe. How do you possibly monitor your students and know what they're doing if you can't see?" Well, I was proven wrong that it could be done safely, as I did it for 11 years. In the Federation, we have tremendous opportunities to grow as leaders, people who believe in us even when we don't believe in ourselves. I now come to you from the training center that I first visited during that trip in Philadelphia, Blindness Learning in New Dimensions, as the executive director here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. May your first convention be as memorable as mine was.
In this video, Jennifer Kennedy holds up the award of the scholarship she won at that first convention and has now become a leader who is transforming the lives of blind people. What fire will be sparked by this, our 2020 convention, our 80th convention? Shortly, we'll hear from our scholarship finalists. Who of them will become a leader in their field and or in our movement? How do we know, or how do we build leaders in our organization and help blind people achieve their dreams? One way you can help is by participating in the Give 20 campaign that Everett just mentioned. Let's keep that fire burning in the National Federation of the Blind. Thank you, President Riccobono.
Thank you very much, Tracy. I appreciate the work the committee's been doing to help our first timers and gather videos. It's been really great to hear some of the reflections of members around the country about their first convention. This is the moment in the board meeting when we come to the presentation of our scholarship program. Our scholarship program is the premier in terms of acknowledging the hard work of blind students across the country. Our scholarship chair has been juggling a lot of new things in the last few months, doing a great job shepherding all the committee members and going through the process of dealing with the hundreds of applications. We get a very competitive program. And so here to present our 2020 scholarship finalist from the great state of New York is Kate Mendez. Hey, Kate, how are you?
Thank you, President Riccobono. Good afternoon, and good afternoon also to the members of the board. It's a privilege to be here with all of you this afternoon. As you know, our scholarship program is one of the ways our organization makes an investment in its future and in the future of blind people across the nation. Every year, we give more than $120,000 in cash and prizes to 30 blind students from across the country who have demonstrated excellence in both their academic pursuits and their community involvement and leadership. So like so many this year, I've been missing the opportunity to connect in person with my fellow Federationists, but the thing I've been missing the absolute most has been the chance to spend lots of in-person time with this amazing group of 30 scholarship finalists. I've had the opportunity to get to know them thus far over a series of Zoom calls, and they are truly an impressive and diverse group of leaders and scholars. Their enthusiasm for the scholarship process and to achieve their own goals and aspirations is evident even through the virtual medium. And it's my honor to introduce them to you this afternoon. So I'm going to introduce each finalist in alphabetical order by name, of course, and then I'm going to say two states. The first state will be their home state. That's the state either where they spend the most time or where they consider home. It may not be the place where they reside at the moment. And the second will be their school state, where they're going to be going to college in the fall. I'm also going to share briefly their vocational goals, and then each student will introduce themselves. Throughout the presentation, I'm going to share some fun facts about this scholarship class. They're a great group of finalists. And since we are urged strongly to keep things moving, without further ado, it's my privilege to present the NFB Scholarship Class of 2020. Dee Shiprit, Bancayan Vega, Rhode Island, California. Disha will be entering the field of healthcare.
I would like to recognize the San Diego chapter and the National Federation of the Blind for their love and support. I am halfway in my medical education as a blind individual. My goal is to promote healthcare inclusion for the visually impaired patients and also for visually impaired healthcare workers who truly want to help, yet accessibility is not fully granted. Now, I speak for those who have an interest in medicine. I believe in your potential, and we all can partake in the creation of an inclusive healthcare system that welcomes everyone.
Rob Blackowitz, Arkansas. Rob is getting a degree in counseling.
Scholars are not just academics. It is very important to note that scholars also volunteer, commit our time to helping people with technology and Braille. I have also given my time to food banks and homeless shelters. With that being said, though, school counseling and a scholar is not just about volunteering, academic, and advocacy. It's also about teaching skills. One of the most important skills we can teach is teamwork, because together we can achieve our dreams.
Chris Bove, Rhode Island. Chris will be pursuing a career in public service.
Hello, everyone. Before I start, I'd just like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here today. I have been working toward a career in public service for about 5 years now. In high school, I served as a member of the Rhode Island Board of Education and as an intern in the Office of Governor Gina Raimondo. And at the University of Rhode Island, I serve as a committee chair on the Student Senate and as a member of the Board of Trustees. I am also an extremely active member of the Rhode Island affiliate of the NFB, and I serve as a member of the Legislative Committee. My dream in life is to serve in government and provide a voice for people like us who have long been overlooked. And this investment in my future will help get me one step closer to making that dream a reality. Thank you.
Bree Broadwater, Maryland, New Jersey. Bree will be seeking a career as a psychologist.
I have been of the mindset that your life is your own and you do with it what you choose. So that's what I do. I'm a bass and a tumbler on my school's cheer team. I'm an amateur baker, and I really enjoy rock climbing and hiking. I've had so many people help me during this time, so I want to help other people through volunteering with special education, helping out in my community, mentoring other blind students like myself, and now pursuing a career in psychology. I want to give back to the world like the world has given to me.
Sean Carlson, Oregon. Sean is looking forward to a career in rehab, specifically as a teacher of blind students.
Greetings. It's an honor to have been selected as a national scholarship finalist. When I joined the NFB in January of 2019, I was simply seeking connection with other blind individuals like myself. What I found was a movement of successful and inspirational people doing so much good in the blind movement. I wanted to join in. I'm currently president of the Oregon Student Division and vice president of the Portland Central Chapter. After hearing about the 70% unemployment or underemployment of us in the blind community, I decided to switch my college major. I decided to pursue degrees which would enable me to lead and inspire others to show them that blindness is not an obstacle to becoming a successful person and lead a dignified, independent life. Thank you.
Natalie Charbonneau, Oregon. Natalie is going into animal genetics and conservation.
I'm stepping off the path of societal expectations that I've been traveling to pursue a career in conservation and animal genetics. My ultimate goal is to work at a university, conducting research and teaching, allowing me to apply skills from my previous career path, combined with my passion for animals and conservation, to actively model and continue advocating for true inclusivity and access in higher education.
More Blessings, Chickamauga, Texas. More Blessings is looking forward to a career in law.
Hello. So a little bit about myself. I enjoy being an engaged citizen and I love helping people. As the president of the local Leos Club in my high school, I enjoyed volunteering by feeding and fundraising for a local children's home. I graduated from LCB in 2018, where I became more confident and met a lot of great role models. To give back to my blind community, I have worked as a body counselor last summer and have been participating in the Texas affiliate since. I have a passion in diversity and inclusion, and I love advocacy work. With that being said, this summer I have had an opportunity to work at the Iowa Department for the Blind as a summer youth counselor, where I work with students with multiple disabilities.
This next finalist is one of the 5 finalists whose birthdays are in April. Apparently, April is a really good month for having a birthday if you want to be a 2020 scholarship finalist. Kevin Darcy, Colorado. Kevin is looking forward to a career as a professor of anthropology.
The life I want is to be an anthropologist. When I was told that blind people can't become anthropologists, I didn't let blindness hold me back. When I was told that blind people shouldn't do research in developing areas of the world, blindness didn't hold me back. I refused to become society's image of a blind person. Even so, I recognize that my identity as a white male comes with privileges and access to opportunities and resources that other blind people may not have. One of my professional goals is to shape public policy to increase access and opportunities for other blind students, and I've begun doing that through my work at CU Boulder.
Matthew DeFell Hoffman, South Carolina. Matthew's looking forward to a career in electrical engineering.
So hello everyone, a little bit about me. I am an athlete. In high school I was captain of both the wrestling team and the cross country team, and I now do jiu-jitsu. I have volunteered at the NFB Bell Academy and at the NFB of SC's Rocky Bottom Children's Camp for the Blind. And I am currently working at our program called Summer Teen. My career aspiration is to be an entrepreneur and start a business converting ordinary cars into accessible self-driving cars, which comes from my personal desire to own a self-driving Dodge Viper.
Paxton Frankie, North Dakota. Paxton will be getting his degree in biology and heading into career in forensic pathology.
I am at my very nature a curious person. I am passionate about my curiosity through the study of chemistry and physics. There is no better feeling for me than spending 20 minutes on a chemistry problem and finally understanding one of the mechanisms that make up this beautiful world. I want to further my understanding through the practice of forensic pathology. and not only sustain my curiosity, but contribute to a future that I would be happy to be a part of.
Lane Harden, Georgia, California. Lane will be pursuing a degree in higher education with the goal of working in higher ed student affairs.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I just graduated from Vanderbilt University, where I studied special education, taught in Metro Nashville Public Schools as a student teacher, and served in several leadership positions. These experiences made me aware of inequities in education, and I'm dedicated to making a difference. This summer, I'm beginning a one-year master's program in Student Affairs Administration at UCLA. In my career, I hope to have a big impact on the lives of students and on equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility in higher education.
Kat Hippie, Wisconsin, Michigan. Kat will be pursuing a career in languages and special education.
Hi, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. It means a lot to me. I will be pursuing a special education in foreign languages because I believe in advocating for other students who are underrepresented. So in other countries, they don't have as many opportunities as we do. And so by getting a certification in foreign languages and doing special education, I can hopefully go over and represent the children who can't be represented as well, because I believe that everyone deserves a chance at living life to the fullest. Thank you.
Emily Keel, Ohio. Emily will be pursuing a career in technology and business.
Outside my information technology classes, I play tuba, oboe, and saxophone in several bands at University of Cincinnati. I'm also a software developer, have gone to hackathons across the country, and presented at the world's largest consumer electronics show. I got involved with the NFB after having a blast volunteering at the Bell Camp last summer. Now I'm on the board for the Ohio Association of Blind Students. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Josh Loebner, Tennessee, South Carolina. Josh will be pursuing his PhD in rhetoric and communications with the goal of working in advertising and as a professor.
The NFB scholarship allows me to continue my PhD advancing research and advocacy for disability in advertising. I serve on the Mosaic Council, the ad industry's premier think tank for diversity and inclusion, and mentor disabled students interested in pursuing careers in advertising, media, and entertainment. While positive strides have been made, more needs to be done to include people with disabilities. My career goal is to develop the first textbook and college course dedicated to teaching advertising and disability inclusion. Advertising is powerful, and so is the disability community.
Sarah Luna, Illinois. Sarah is entering a career in museum accessibility.
I would wager that most of you in attendance have visited a history museum at some point. Perhaps like me, you've been left disappointed by the overwhelmingly visual experience. The intent of museums is to preserve history and educate the public. Personally, studying history has vastly increased my understanding and appreciation of my African American and Mexican heritage. Therefore, I intend to work to help make museums a more accessible space so that everyone may learn from these incredible institutions. Thank you.
Victor Marquez, Michigan. Victor will be entering a career in vision rehab therapy.
I'd like to thank the committee for the opportunity to be a finalist this year. I'm a graduate student at Western Michigan University. If everything goes well, in April, I will graduate summa cum laude with my master's degree and a CADA certification. I am a professional musician. I am heavily involved with Toastmasters International, and I also work as a patient services coordinator at a free health clinic where I help patients overcome barriers to accessing healthcare. My main goal as a rehabilitation professional is to provide quality, comprehensive services so that my consumers can live the lives that they choose without limits. Thank you.
Griffin Miller, Pennsylvania. Griffin intends to pursue a career as an actuary.
Okay, hello, I'm Griffin.
I'm pursuing a career as an actuary. I've always been interested in math since I was very young. I've always been in advanced math classes for my age. I actually took Algebra 1 in 3rd grade. I've always been advanced in math. In addition to that, I also have been interested in technology for the blind. There's another blind student at my school who I help with technology, and I also participate in events such as the choir in my school.
Jillian Milton, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Jillian will be pursuing a career in product development.
Hi, as a legally blind student, I am proud to have graduated 12th in a class of about 400 students. I became the first student in the nation to test with dual screens on multiple standardized tests. For the past 4 years, I have participated in competitive sports like marching band and track, which help break barriers for other students with disabilities. I was an elected officer in the Music and Science Honor Societies. My volunteerism includes kayaking and open water swims and the Bell Camp. In college, I would like to study engineering or computer science to create technology products that are accessible for all.
Brian Muccio, Arizona, New York. Brian will be entering a career in human rights law.
Hello, I would like to start off by thanking the committee for this great opportunity to be a finalist this year. I just graduated from Grand Canyon University with an honors bachelor's in finance and economics. I was actually also named the top grad for our College of Business. So once our graduation is rescheduled, I'll be giving the commencement speech. Among other things, in the past year, I have been serving on the student board of the Arizona affiliate and on the board of the Guide Dogs for the Blind chapter here in Phoenix. I am currently working with a business consulting firm where we're actively working to help businesses navigate and survive this pandemic time. And in the fall, I start my new chapter going to law school where I hope to gain more experience and resources to be an even better advocate.
Our scholarship class this year spans exactly 3 decades. Our youngest scholarship finalist is the next one I'm going to introduce. She is still 17 and will be turning 18 at the end of this month. Our most senior finalist is 47, so just exactly 30 years between. Marissa Nisley, Jersey, District of Columbia. Marissa will be getting a degree in economics and entering a career in law.
Hello, everyone. Throughout high school, I served as captain of my school's mock trial team. And this year, we went the farthest in our team's history by placing 3rd in the state. I also served as vice president of my local DECA chapter, where I not only competed in business role-play events at the national level, but also organized community fundraisers for several charities. Next year, I plan to attend Georgetown University and major in economics, with the goal of attending law school after undergrad. Thank you, and I'm honored to be an NFB scholarship finalist.
Sherry Pablo, California. Sherry will be pursuing a career in health policy and management.
10 years ago, I unexpectedly lost my sight after graduating from college. My journey since then has included teaching myself how to read Braille, volunteering with seniors, providing health education to youth in a clinic, and most recently, leading a team in a statewide program addressing the opioid epidemic. With a master's in public health from UC Berkeley, I plan to improve accessibility and promote equity within healthcare systems and in health policy. Thank you so much for this opportunity and investment in my future.
Our next finalist is a Tenbrook Fellow. The Tenbrook Fellowships are awarded to scholarship finalists who have previously won a National Federation of the Blind scholarship, and they are named after the first president of the NFB, Dr. Jacobus Tenbrook. So let me introduce you to Precious Perez, Massachusetts. Precious will be entering a career in music education.
Hi, everyone. This is an honor, so thank you to the Scholarship Committee. I'm a vocalist, songwriter, and music educator. I'm a first-generation college student, a Puerto Rican woman with anxiety from a low-income family. I'm the first blind student to study music education at Berkeley and the first blind student to study abroad at the Valencia campus. My goal is to break down barriers for blind educators and performers, to lead by example in the mainstream setting. I represent multiple communities, so I will strive to teach my students the beauty in diversity. Music is unity, education is power, and I will use both to abolish blindness stereotypes. Thank you.
Teresita Rios, California, Indiana. Teresita will be pursuing a career in law.
I was born in Mexico and moved to the US at the age of 11. I would not be as academically inclined if not for my parents. In high school, through mock trial, I fell in love with the founding documents of this nation. Throughout college, I volunteered and interned in different legal resource centers, which cemented my interest in the law. Graduating cum laude with honors from UCLA, today I am thrilled to say that I am attending law school in the fall, and in 3 years, I will be better equipped to, at least in part, pay my parents for their countless sacrifices and have a deeper understanding of the US Constitution. Thank you so very much for helping me achieve my dream. Thank you.
So before we introduce this next scholarship finalists, I would just like to say that our class is representative of 26 states, all told. Some folks represent 2 states because of their home state and their school state. This next finalist will be representing 1 state, and that is the state of Nebraska. So Danielle Schutz, Nebraska. Danielle will be pursuing a degree in biological systems engineering and will be pursuing a career in medical research.
I have received many academic and athletic awards throughout my high school career. I have shown goats and pigs for 11 years through 4-H and FFA. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I plan to study biological systems engineering. As a medical scientist, I plan to research genetic eye disorders. I was born with a rare form of Stargardt disease. My doctors inspired me to follow a path that would combine my love of science with my desire to improve the lives of others.
Nick Spone, Pennsylvania. Nick will be pursuing a career in mechanical engineering.
I became visually impaired right before my 9th grade school year. I have led others by example through my hard work and dedication. I was one of the students involved in advocating for College Board to administer proper accommodations during this year's AP exams. Everyone should have an equal opportunity when it comes to education. My career goal is to become a mechanical engineer and make an impact on society.
Logan Stenzel, Minnesota. Logan will be entering the field of finance and technology entrepreneurship.
Mixing technical and communication skills is essential to life as a blind person. Being able to come up with clever solutions to access issues is essential to success as a blind person and for the entire blind community. As a high school debater, I utilized these skills to achieve competitive success, unanimously winning the Minnesota State Debate Championship while advocating for more inclusive practices in debate. I'm grateful for the NFB scholarship for allowing me to continue this work into college.
Marie Bianeda, Indiana. Marie will be pursuing a career as an orientation and mobility instructor.
Hello. As we all know, it is very important for blind youth to connect with and learn from blind adults. This is one driving factor in my passion to address the shortage of blind orientation and mobility instructors. I worked for 4 years with youth at the Indiana School for the Blind, and I've been involved with the NFB since 2017 through conventions, youth opportunities, and Washington Seminar. I look forward to a continued engagement with the Federation and sincerely appreciate the investment in my future.
Shane Wegner, Minnesota. Shane will be undertaking a career in corporate law.
What could be more exciting than a career in corporate law? Yeah,
I've never heard anybody say that. No, it's not exciting. But you want to know what is? How corporate America views diversity and inclusion. Has anyone noticed what group of people are not represented? Well, it's you and me, people with a disability. That bothers me. I want that to change. And that is why I am excited about corporate law. I want to drive that change for people like us. Thank you to the Scholarship Committee and the Board of Directors for giving me this opportunity.
Alec Wolf, Vermont. Alec will be pursuing a career in broadcasting.
Hi, and thank you for this incredible honor. A very important quote that my basketball coach told me when I first got into radio was, "You learn and you live and you learn." And through my time in radio, I've gotten the opportunity to give back to my community. A very important part of that being a community garden and being able to broadcast on live radio a soccer tournament in honor of a resident who had passed away from a car accident. Since then, I have been able to give to many charities in her name and in through radio. With this scholarship, I hope to continue the work through radio and give back to the community. And I want to thank the committee for letting me be here and continue my work in giving back to the community.
Ryan Zamaripa, Oklahoma. Ryan will be entering the field of media production and accessibility.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am primarily a musician. I play guitar, violin, and a bit of voice too. I compose in many different genres and do a little bit of production as well. I also do testing for music software and accessibility in order to provide access for all who use it. Outside of music, I am the secretary for my state NFB affiliate, and I also serve on committees in my local chapter. I love studying languages. I speak 4 of them, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know everyone.
Mr. President, this concludes the presentation of the 2020 scholarship class.
Thank you very much, Kate, and congratulations to all our scholarship finalists. I had the opportunity to be with them all last night, and I've met a number of them hanging out in the presidential suite. It's a tremendous group, and congratulations to the scholarship committee on the hard work, as always, to pick such an outstanding class. I do encourage folks to get to know them where they can. I wonder how the board feels about continuing the scholarship program.
Mr. Chairman, James Gashel here.
Yes, sir.
And I move that we continue the scholarship program as currently designed for 2021.
Crosby.
Crosby?
Second.
Second. Been moved and seconded to continue the scholarship program for 2021. Any discussion amongst the board? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. We will continue our tremendous scholarship program, and thank you again to the committee, and congratulations to our finalists. For a quick announcement, I want to introduce the individual who chairs our Jacobus Tenbrook Memorial Fund Committee. She is the current president of our student division, at least for a couple more hours, as she'll be turning the reins over to the next group of upcoming students, and she's doing great work with our membership committee and a number of other areas. Here to talk to us about the Tenbrook Fund Committee from the great state of Virginia is Catherine Webster.
Good afternoon, President Bono and new and seasoned Federationists. I am thrilled to be here. And I also just want to note those scholarship finalists are so cool. I remember that scholarship brought me into this organization. I'm so much more amazed by them than I ever was. But to speak to you all about the Tenbrook Committee, I'm honored to chair our committee. We've got a strong board as well as a committee working on all things finances around our office. So as Everett Bacon pointed out a little bit ago, the Tenbrook board is the kind of oversight for our national office and the block of land that we've got in Baltimore, Maryland. So the Tenbrook Committee very much appreciate all of the work of our committee members and support all of the affiliates and chapters who have already given your contributions to the Tenbrook Committee and our financial contributions from individuals. I do encourage you to please consider donating through the Give 20 or other means, whether on an individual level or if the chapter and affiliate has not yet done that, continue considering us for both Give 20 as well as financial contributions in general. We very much appreciate it. Whether COVID-19 or not, our national office is alive and well, catering to our staff and members every single day. So of course we had our beautiful renovations last fall, and while some may not know, those renovations are for all blind people, not just the staff that work tirelessly every day, but for every single member of the Federation. So please continue supporting us. Thank you very much, President Riccobono.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you to our Tenbrook Fund Committee supporting the property that we have and get to utilize here in Baltimore is a worthy cause. And thank you to our affiliates who have contributed. I echo Catherine's remarks in those regards, as well as the others. We have 3 more items to get through on this agenda. We are running long. Resolutions Committee is scheduled to start at 5 o'clock right here on this very same Zoom webinar. We may take a few minutes to reset, so we may not start right at 5 o'clock, but we're going to come as close as we can. I want to introduce one thing we do in the National Federation of the Blind is share. And we recognize that being part of a national organization, we're built by our local affiliates, and the local affiliates get benefit from being part of the national organization and vice versa. We often receive gifts in the form of funds from affiliates who receive substantial bequests that come to the affiliate, and the affiliates often share them, 50% of them, with our national organization. I would now invite our #1 state in attendance and in the PAC plan to make a presentation. The president of the National Federation of the Blind of Maryland. Here's Ronza Othman.
Good afternoon, President Riccobono, distinguished members of the Board of Directors, and all Federationists listening today. I'd like to tell you about a person who has made tremendous impact on our ability to do our work, Carolyn Kudelek. Because of her generosity, we've been able to continue our operations and programs not only at our pre-COVID-19 levels, but to increase our advocacy and protections for Maryland's blind. In a time where funding is particularly scarce as a result of our fundraisers and other mechanisms for obtaining funding being severely limited. Carolyn passed away in 2018 at the age of 79. She had a mother who went blind later in life. Karen loved children, cats, goats, and most especially dogs. She lived on a farm where they all ran and roamed free wherever they wanted to be. Carolyn lived in New Windsor, Carroll County, and she ran her family's antique shop there. But she lived a considerable number of years in Baltimore, where she became acquainted with the National Federation of the Blind of Maryland. Though she was not an active member of the Federation, she did make a number of donations to the NFB of Maryland and to the National Federation of the Blind throughout her life. Miss Kudelik left her entire estate to charity, and she ensured that those charities were dedicated to providing direct services and supports to individuals. She split her estate between St. Jude's Research Hospital and the National Federation of the Blind of Maryland. She chose the National Federation of the Blind of Maryland due to our work with guide dogs, and particularly our work on ensuring guide dog access in public accommodations. President Riccobono, the National Federation of the Blind has recently sent a check to the National Federation of the Blind. The National Federation of the Blind of Maryland recently sent a check to the National Federation of the Blind for half of the bequest that we received from Carolyn Kudelik's estate, and this was in the amount of $445,889. I hope that we will all remember Carolyn as we continue to do the important work of the movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ronza. We appreciate the generosity of our donor and also the loving support of the National Federation of the Blind of Maryland. Thank you to our Maryland affiliate also doing a lot of behind the scenes work for our convention, especially our president, Ronza Othman, has been doing a lot of legwork behind the scenes. So thank you very much, Ronza, for your leadership and for the work of our affiliate. I do want to invite now to talk to us just briefly about our legal advocacy work. And I say briefly because we could spend, well, many hours talking about some of our accomplishments. We had one today that we announced. Eve Hill, who is one of our primary attorneys. She works at Brown, Goldstein, and Levy. And also Valerie Yingling, who is our helps to coordinate our legal programs here at our national office. And they're going to make a few announcements related to our legal advocacy program related to the convention. So Eve and Valerie.
All right, this is Eve. It's so nice to be here back at convention.
Hey, Eve.
Thank you all for having me. A few things that we're asking y'all to tell us about so we can take on these legal issues, and I will talk quickly, but hopefully articulately. One of the things that we've noticed a lot in this pandemic time is that unemployment benefits are important. And it turns out that a number of states exclude workers in sheltered workshops from unemployment benefits. So we think that is illegal and discriminatory. We are looking for anybody who's a current or former sheltered workshop employee, ideally in the 9th Circuit states, which is California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, and Alaska. And we'll be coming to various caucuses to talk more about that. We're also looking at, now that sort of big box stores and massive delivery systems are the way of the future, employment at distribution centers. We have filed, Tim Elder has filed EEOC claims against a major retailer for hiring blind people for their warehouse and distribution centers, and then immediately saying, you're blind, you can't do any of these jobs, even though there are dozens of jobs available that could be done with reasonable accommodation. So if you have had that kind of experience, please let me or Tim know, or Valerie. We also recently reached a settlement, well, recently, like moments ago, reached a settlement with a major retailer, which I think will be announced tomorrow. Same major retailer, by the way, regarding work at home jobs. Now we all know that almost every job can be done from home, but there are specific work at home jobs, and those are too often using software that's not accessible to blind people. The last thing that should happen to blind people is they're excluded from work at home jobs. We just managed to get the transportation to work, and we work at home now. We actually have several of these cases and are interested in hearing from more of you, because technology should be a facilitator to employment, not a barrier. We've also heard that Source America is hiring for work on government contracts, and they're saying in their ads, they'll hire you if you have low vision, but not if you're blind and use a screen reader. So if you're looking at federal contracting jobs through Source America, know about that as well. A number of employers are also upgrading, we'll call it upgrading in quotation marks, their employee use software. and in those upgrades, making it inaccessible and pushing blind people out of jobs that they've been doing for years. If this has happened to you, we again have several of these cases, but we're interested in this issue and need technology again to be a facilitator, not a new barrier. And I've said this before, but someone is producing 300 or so inaccessible websites a minute, and we can't catch them all downriver. We need to find out who that is and stop him. So who is it? It's the developers. We're looking for people who have tried to use or want to try to use a service like GoDaddy or Wix and want to make an accessible website. And here's a hint, you can't do it. So that is something we would like to take on at the source. And finally, before I turn it over to Valerie, you may not have noticed this, but blind people have always had the right to vote absentee, privately and independently. And the NFB has made that clear in the Fourth Circuit in 2014 and in the Sixth Circuit in 2017, that during COVID, absentee voting is more important than ever. And there are more ways to make absentee voting accessible than ever. Some of our sponsors you will have heard from are doing that, but states still aren't using those tools, and they're excluding blind people from absentee voting and forcing you to make choices either to have some third party help you and know who you voted for, or to go to the polls and risk COVID. So far, we're suing Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New York, and we're talking to Minnesota, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. If your state has expanded absentee voting eligibility, if you're in any of those states or others, let us know about that, because now is the time to make voting access really equal. Thanks. On to Valerie.
Thanks, Eve, and thank you, President Riccobono and members of the board. In addition to the topics Eve mentioned, NFB is also gathering feedback from members regarding inaccessible virtual healthcare and COVID-related barriers, including inaccessible state and municipal COVID web pages. And we're hoping to hear from members who live in states other than Maryland and who shop at Walmart and would like for Walmart's self-checkout kiosks to be accessible. We still have some availability for this evening's legal office hours. If you would like to request an appointment, please contact me via the email address in the agenda. We would like to thank everyone who has participated in NFB's settlement agreement-driven testing programs over the past year, and would like to share as updates that though NFB's agreements with Uber and Lyft expire this month, we will maintain our online rideshare survey. Please continue to use the survey to report service animal-based ride denials, cleaning fees, and your ride experience generally. Regarding Redbox testing, we are currently in Q2 of our testing program and have extended the window for testing by another 3 months due to the COVID-19 crisis. Lastly, we encourage members to complete NFB's Educational Technology Survey and Unemployment Benefits Survey. Both are available via NFB's legal webpage. The information you provide is critical as we pursue equal access to education and employment and its related benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Eve. And Eve, congratulations on the work that we've been able to do together. And it's been a great year, and we got some important announcements coming up. A great announcement made today about the work getting accessible notifications from the IRS, which I've received a number of emails about today. So people very excited. So thank you to Eve and Valerie for the tremendous work that both of you are doing and the rest of our legal team. We've gotten through all of our agenda items. I do want to close this meeting of the board by inviting our chairperson to speak, as we have been doing. We amended our constitution in 2014 to have a chairperson of the board, and since that time, it has been from the great state of Louisiana, Pam Allen, and so we have been closing these board meetings at the convention, hearing from her. So Pam, how are you?
I am doing great. Greetings, my Federation family, and thank you, President Riccobono. It's wonderful to be here with everybody, especially our first timers for this record-setting convention. But with all due respect, sir, I think we have one more agenda item that we haven't covered.
My list shows we got everything. I think we're good. We're good.
I was thinking that maybe you might have wanted to talk about our largest convention.
Oh, well, yeah, I can see. You want me to talk about the fact that our largest in-person convention, of course, was our New Orleans convention in 1997, right? Where we had 3,340 some people registered. But, you know, this is our largest convention now.
Well, yes. I mean, of course, I am very proud of that convention, being that it is from the great city of New Orleans, but I was talking about the future. So let me introduce a friend to clarify.
Hello, National Federation of the Blind. I'm Bobby Hebert, a New Orleans Saints legend, radio sports analyst, also known as the Cajun Cannon. What a year it has been so far. But we're not here to talk about what's going on now. We're here to talk about 2021, when we are sure to let the good times roll. History, celebration, togetherness. Those are some things we New Orleanians and you have in common. We are so excited to welcome the largest gathering of blind people to NOLA. The National Federation of the Blind 2021 National Convention will be held in New Orleans, Louisiana, July the 6th to July the 11th. If you've never been, let me share some fun things to expect. Let's talk NOLA. New Orleans is a city that welcomes all, marches to the beat of its own drum, and home of the Who Dat Nation. First down, Saints! And the world-renowned hospitality industry gearing up for your arrival. We also speak a different language here, so be sure to brush up on your New Orleans lingo with words like beignets, jambalaya, étouffée, or crossing the neutral ground or median to join the second line band. Now that's a little lanyard for you, or a little something extra. We know this year's convention has connected you all across the country by being virtual, but we look forward to having you in person in New Orleans. National Federation of the Blind, live the life you want.
Thank you. We are so excited to be hosting next year's convention, where I know we will continue to be making history. And I know I can hear everybody saying who dat, because we dat. So we can't wait to welcome all of you to our great city. So much to offer. You heard the awesome calliope from our riverboats. We were talking about barbecue earlier, but you heard some of the delicious food that has to offer. Most importantly, though, the love and the hospitality that you'll experience from our awesome Louisiana affiliate. And we cannot wait to welcome you to the Big Easy, our beautiful city. I am so grateful and so proud to be a member of the National Federation of the Blind. I want to thank our host affiliate in the great state of Texas, our incredibly dedicated affiliate leaders, our phenomenal team at our National Center, and most importantly, everyone who's taking part this week and contributing to our convention. The work that we are doing is life-changing, and it would not happen without your leadership and your example, President Riccobono. Thank you to you and to Melissa for inspiring all of us always to push the boundaries and always work together to increase opportunities for blind people anywhere and everywhere. Some people wondered if we would gather this year, and not only did we gather, but we set a record, the largest gathering of blind people in the world. And that's the way we work in the National Federation of the Blind. So kudos to our members. And if you're not yet a member, we invite you to join our family. Wishing everyone an incredible week. Can't wait to connect with all of you. And Roland and I and our whole Louisiana family can't wait to welcome you in person to New Orleans in 2021. Happy convention to all. Let's go build the National Federation of the Blind. Thank you, President Riccobono.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that great announcement. And please give Roland a hug for us. We know it's a tough time for you right now. We're thinking about you, both of you. And we're really excited, at least I'm really excited. Let me say I'm really excited about our 2021 convention. We still got plenty of 20 to go, but I think it's going to be great to try to break our in-person record and keep it there in Louisiana. Now, I told you we're going to have two, and thank you, Pam, for correcting me because I thought we were done. I told you we were going to have two opportunities to vote, though, and this is your second opportunity to vote. So the question on the floor is, do you like the planned location for the 2021 National Federation of the Blind Convention? You can call the voting number or text 1 for up, 2 for down, 667-206-6677. Tell us what you think. Good or up or down, New Orleans in 2021 to try a repeat of our largest in-person convention ever. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you, Pam, for your leadership, and Roland and our Louisiana Center. We really appreciate all of you. Now, we do have the meeting of the Resolutions Committee coming up, and it was supposed to have started some time ago. So we are going to adjourn this meeting, and we are going to take 10 minutes to set up for the Resolutions Committee. My iPhone tells me it is 5:11. So we're going to start the Resolutions Committee meeting at, let's say, 5:22 now. And so committee members, make sure you're zoomed in 10 minutes from now, 5:22. And the meeting of the Board of Directors for the 2020 convention will stand adjourned.